Chapter 539. At this moment in time, the unstoppable demonic hell vines were finally suppressed for the first time, and their growth was completely stopped. Boom! The army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts was ferocious, and everywhere they passed, the demonic hell vines were mercilessly crushed. In a short amount of time, the ocean of vines started to show signs of collapsing, and the area it covered started to shrink. It's finally stabilized. The purple Saint Partial Spirit on the third floor let out a breath. At the critical moment, Zhao Feng's God Spiritual I was able to turn the situation around. Controlling an army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts was something that normal beast tamers couldn't even imagine. Above the limitless ocean, on top of a mountain, he can control so many true spirit realm beasts. How'd that brat do it? Even if he tamed them beforehand. A measly true lord rank can't control an army of 400 to 500 true spirit realm beasts. The change in the image caused the expressions of the experts from the three sects to change. The expressions of the three void god realm kings became solemn. They obviously didn't expect that the demonic hell vines, who had won in numbers, would face such a situation. The seed of the demonic hell vine has been stored for too long, and its power hasn't fully awakened yet. It might not even be able to use half of its power. Furthermore, the demonic hell vine was killed before it could grow. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess murmured. The three void god realm kings stared at everything that was happening. Under certain circumstances, the human wave tactic is still useful. The blue-haired youth floated in the air and used his left eye to control the army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts. Unbelievably, the beasts that were controlled were split into close combat, long range, and support groups that looked after each other. Some beasts specialized in burrowing into the ground and killing the roots of the vines. There were also flying beasts that were responsible for rescuing others, and those that were trapped by the vines would provide long-range support. This scene caused the experts of the three sects to gape. Such control. That brat's eye bloodline is indeed not simple. The Golden Skeleton sighed. A few years ago, when Zhao Feng fought against the disciples of the three sects on his own, he displayed extraordinary eye bloodline techniques and mental eye bloodline techniques. And this time, Zhao Feng's God's spiritual eye's incomparable control had once again toppled the world's horizons. The three void god realm kings had to admit that it was hard to find even one or two people with such an eye bloodline in the younger generation of the three forces. In the mysterious canyon. In the process of the demonic vine's defeat, the demonic beast army also suffered some losses. However, Zhao Feng did not feel any heartache at all. This was because there were too many beasts in the Purple Saint ruins. Even if he didn't sacrifice some, the beasts would kill each other in this limited space. Zhao Feng, well done. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's happy voice sounded. Human, it's all thanks to you this time. The towering tree monster's voice sounded. Because they were in the center of the mysterious canyon, the towering tree demon was the first to suffer when the demonic hell vines overflowed. The crazy growth of the demonic vine also caused the towering tree demon's territory to face disaster. Zhao Feng floated in the air expressionlessly. Would the three sects give up so easily? Zhao Feng did not think so. The Purple Saint ruins represented enough to make any two-star sect go red with greed. On top of the mountain, the demonic hell vines are the stepping stone of the Purple Saint ruins invasion. If we fail, the later plans will probably be affected. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Suddenly, she became the leader of the three two-star sects that invaded the Purple Saint ruins. The other two void god realm kings listened to her. Sirs, the spatial splitting array has been prepared, but it can only support small items at the beginning. Once it reaches the true spirit realm, there will be a lot of danger. A voice sounded from the other side of the mountain. A mysterious array formed from cold silver lines appeared above the limitless ocean. The mysterious space splitting formation was jointly managed by dozens of formation masters. Standing at the very front were three formation masters. The one in the middle was a silver-eyed handsome youth. He was the owner of the voice. All the array masters present, including the two array masters, were filled with respect towards the silver-eyed youth. Grandmaster Kong, I hope you can strengthen the spatial splitting array and stabilize the sky meridian as soon as possible. Before that, please send a few drops of origin life force over. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Even the three Void God Realm Kings were respectful towards this silver-haired youth. This was because Grandmaster Kong was one of the 4 array masters of the Tianlu Islands. Furthermore, he was one of the 4 great array formation grandmasters who specialized in space-type array formations. The most unique thing was that this grandmaster Kong also had a powerful eye bloodline, and apparently, it was a spatial bloodline. Origin life force? Grandmaster Kong paused and was slightly surprised. The origin life force was similar to the elixir of life. The difference was that the former not only had the ability to extend one's life, but it also contained limitless life force. Legend has it, a drop of the life original fluid could turn a dead land with a radius of 100 miles into a fertile land. It could be used to plant all kinds of spiritual herbs, which could supply the vitality for 1,000 years. From this, just how terrifying was the effect of one drop of origin life force. At this moment in time, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess was about to send a few drops of origin life force to the Purple Saint ruins to support the demonic hellvines. Thinking up to here, Grandmaster Kong's heart shook. Once the demonic hell vines absorbed the origin life force, the consequences would be unimaginable. Saint Moon Ant Goddess, you're really willing to go all out. Even in the spiritual sacred land, this origin life force is extremely rare. The demonic Tao King couldn't help but sigh. Let's do it like this, drop by drop. Otherwise, it'll be too much of a waste. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Mysterious Canyon. The demonic hell vines weakening became more and more obvious, and their range had already shrunk to 1 mile. If this continued, the demonic hell vines would soon be killed, and they wouldn't have a chance to grow. The skeletal division leader let out a breath, and it became easier to maintain the ghost corpse cursed array. Right at this moment, Zhao Feng's god spiritual, I seem to sense something. See, a majestic and terrifying life force emerged from the center of the demonic hell vine out of thin air. At this moment, Zhao Feng's god spiritual, I caught a ripple in space. Zhao Feng, watch out. That is a drop of primary life fluid. It can provide a huge amount of vitality to help the demonic hell vine grow. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice was filled with panic. As soon as she finished, the demonic hell vines seemed to have eaten a stimulant, and their aura started to rise. The situation was like a sponge meeting water. In the blink of an eye, the demonic hell vines in the center had grown to dozens of yards. The demonic hell vines that had just shrunk quickly expanded to 2 to 3 miles and continued to expand. This scene made Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader jump up in fright. Stop it! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader split up. The former controlled the beast army, while the latter maintained the ghost corpse cursed array. Wu, a bloodthirsty aura appeared in the center of the ocean of vines, as if a powerful existence had awakened. Demonic Hell Vine King. It was an enormous creature that was made up of hundreds of ink-black vines. It was in the shape of a squid, and it had hundreds of tendrils that were more than 100 feet long. Among them, the thickest one was 300 to 400 feet long. Even though it had just been born, the demonic hell Vine King's body was already close to the towering tree yaos. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader both heard the Purple Saint partial spirit's warning. Under the effect of the origin life force, not only did the demonic hell Vine King increase in size, a Vine King was also born in the center. Kill the demonic vine before it matures. Once it reaches the origin core realm, it'll be troublesome. The Purple Saint partial spirit quickly said. At this moment, the demonic hell Vine King was only at the half-step origin core realm, but its life force was close to the towering tree Yao. Boom! As soon as the army of beasts that Zhao Feng controlled got close to the demonic hell Vine King, they were entangled by the vines and started to suck their blood. In the end, not only did the demonic hell Vine King not suffer any damage, it became even more powerful and the sea of vines extended further. This won't do. Normal beasts that haven't reached the half-step origin core realm are nothing but nourishment to it. The skeletal division leader panicked. The Ghost Corp's cursed array was able to suppress normal vines, but it couldn't threaten the demonic hell Vine King at all. On top of the mountain, the change in the image made the experts of the three sects overjoyed. As expected of the origin life force, just one drop was enough to turn the situation around. If a few more drops were sent in, wouldn't the Vine King reach the origin core realm? The Golden Skeletal Division leader laughed. Zha, that brat's beast army isn't afraid of death. It's helping the Vine King grow. The demonic Tao, sovereign shrouded in black, Qi laughed gloatingly. In the image, Zhao Feng's beast army could only deal with the vines on the outskirts. They couldn't even get close to the Vine King. As long as the Vine King reaches the origin core realm, even those at the origin core realm will have to retreat, let alone kill it. At that time, the situation will be settled. The St. Moon Ant Goddess smiled faintly. Her gaze turned toward Grandmaster Yin Kong and was about to tell him to send in more origin life force. What's that brat doing? Exclamations came from the crowd. Boom! Inside the mysterious canyon, at least 100 demonic beasts charged into the gray smoke enveloped by the Ghost Corp's curse formation. Zhao Feng, what are you? The skeletal division leader jumped up in fright as it was maintaining the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Zhao Feng didn't move as he controlled more than 100 beasts at the true spirit realm to charge into the dark clouds. What was even weirder was that, after the beasts charged into the Ghost Corp's cursed array, they didn't move at all and let the powerful aura of death corrode them, turning them into puddles of blood. Suddenly, the dark gray smoke where the Ghost Corp's curse formation was located was filled with blood-colored flames and all kinds of soul-shaking negative mental energy. In just a few breaths, the power of the Ghost Corp's cursed array increased dramatically, and the power of the curse increased by more than double. Shoo! The surrounding sea of vines festered and turned into filthy mucus. Instead of giving it to the Vine King, it's better to give it to the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Skeletal Division Leader, kill these beasts and expand the array. Chapter 540. Skeletal Division Leader, kill these beasts and expand the array. Zhao Feng's voice was filled with coldness and killing intent. Inside the Ghost Corp's cursed grand formation, thick gray smoke rose up, giving birth to surging, blood-colored flames. More than 100 powerful demonic beasts died, one by one inside the formation, turning into puddles of blood. The blood essence of these true spirit realm beasts was of high quality, and the negative power of hatred after their death was even greater. In a short while, the hundreds of true spirit realm beasts all died, and the Ghost Corp's cursed array's power and range kept on increasing. This move is too strong. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag excitedly and guided the power of the Ghost Corp's cursed array. The 15 cursed ghost corpses within the Ghost Corp's cursed array absorbed a large amount of blood essence, and their auras became stronger. At this point in time, large patches of vines started to rot in the area that was eroded by the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Of course, the sea of demonic vines had the powerful power of the life original fluid. Although a part of it had been destroyed, it was still growing. However, the Ghost Corp's cursed array was still able to suppress the vines, but it wasn't able to threaten the Vine King in the center. This change in situation made the purple Saint Partial Spirit reveal a joyful expression. Using these beasts as nourishment to raise the cursed ghost corpses will increase the power of the curse. This Zhao Feng really knows how to come up with a plan. Limitless Ocean Mountain Peak. This brat isn't just difficult to deal with. There's no need to worry. Almost half of his beast army has died. He won't be able to last much longer. The experts of the three sects discussed in low tones. At this moment, the experts of the three sects hated Zhao Feng. The three Void God Realm Kings fell into a short silence. A measly true Lord rank genius was able to fight against a Void God Realm King and even turn the situation around. They had to admit how terrifying he was. Grandmaster Yin Kong was also paying attention to the blue-haired young man in the scryer image. The blue-haired youth was fighting against the three void God Realm kings. Even though he wasn't involved, he admired the blue-haired youth. Grandmaster Yin Kong, prepare the second drop of the life original fluid. The St. Moon Ant Goddess's voice sounded. All right. Grandmaster Yin Kong agreed and began to deliver the second drop of original life fluid. At the center of the mysterious canyon, the Ghost Corpse Curse formation emitted the aura of death and the power of the curse. It had already enveloped an area of 2 to 3 li, and it was competing with the demonic Vine King in the center of the Tung Sea. It's a pity that the 100 Corpse plan is only 15% complete. With such a large area, it's hard to threaten the Vine King. Zhao Feng was paying attention to the situation while commanding the demonic beast army. Now, there were only 1 to 200 demonic beasts left under his control. Some of them were responsible for removing the remaining demonic vines, while the others were responsible for feeding the Ghost Corpse formation. At this moment, Zhao Feng sensed something again and caught a trace of obscure space fluctuation. Buzz, a vast amount of life force, was born in the center of the sea of vines. At the moment of its birth, Zhao Feng captured a drop of mysterious liquid that was similar to the elixir of life, but it was much larger and more powerful. Not good. The second drop of life original fluid. The purple Saint Partial Spirit warned. Just one drop of the elixir of life had created a terrifying demonic Vine King and caused the demonic hell Vine King to retaliate. Now a second drop had appeared. Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader felt their scalps go numb. As expected, the sea of vines that had been suppressed suddenly grew wildly and rebounded with an unstoppable force. The tentacles of the demonic hell Vine King in the middle were at least dozens of feet long. In just a few breaths, the Vine King's aura had surpassed normal half-step origin core realms and was comparable to a sovereign. Whoosh! The demonic hell Vine King waved its tentacles, which were like dragons that could kill normal, true spirit realms. There were over 100 tentacles waving at the same time. Whoosh! Whoosh! The expanding Ghost Corpse Curse array was hit by the Vine King, and black smoke started to rise. The dark smoke started to dissipate, and its power started to decrease. Master, if this continues, the Ghost Corpse Cursed array won't be able to last much longer. The Skeletal Division leader cried out bitterly. Human, save me. The towering tree, not far away, was also attacked by the demonic hell Vine King. In terms of life force, the towering tree, Yao, should be on the same level as the demonic hell Vine King. However, the demonic hell Vine King was a forbidden being that could absorb life force and keep on growing. Unfortunately, the towering tree, Yao, had become its nourishment. Not only would the towering tree, Yao, not be able to fight it, but it would also be countered. Go! Zhao Feng's expression became grim, and madness appeared in his eyes as he threw all the remaining beasts into the Ghost Corpse Cursed array. Wang, the power of the Ghost Corpse Cursed array increased once more. However, the Ghost Corpse Cursed array could only slow down the rate of the vine attack. On top of the mountain, that brat's done. Without any beasts to control, it'll be hard for him to turn the situation around. Looks like 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life will be enough for the Vine King to reach the origin core realm. The eyes of the experts of the 3 sects twinkled with excitement. Seeing Zhao Feng suppressed, everyone felt as if their anger had been vented. From the Purple Saint Inheritance battle to the Purple Saint Invasion, Zhao Feng had managed to turn the tide and make the 3 sects suffer. Unknowingly, the experts of the 3 sects started to feel wary and hateful towards this youth. Even the 3 void God Realm Kings didn't dare to underestimate Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, I admit that I lost to you in the Purple Saint Inheritance battle. But this time, there's several void God Realm Kings and an array Grandmaster present. You won't be able to escape this. In the crowd, a fairy-like woman in a green dress murmured to herself. The green-robed woman was beautiful and fresh, like a falling leaf. However, her clear eyes were still filled with hatred and killing intent as she stared at the blue-haired youth in the image. It was Yi Yinyu. In the past few years, Yi Yinyu had been heavily affected by the Purple Saint ruins and had been cultivating hard. Half a month ago, when she learned of the situation here, and that the nightmare young man from back then had appeared once more, she immediately rushed over. Many core disciples that had entered the Purple Saint ruins back then also rushed over. For example, Lu Tianyi, Qi Gui, and company had also arrived. Of these people, Lu Tianyi was the strongest. He had reached the origin core realm not long ago, and was one of the top 3 core disciples of the pure moon spiritual sect. Saint Moon Ant Goddess. 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life should be enough for the Vine King to reach the origin core realm. The golden skeleton revealed an expectant expression. Once the demonic hell Vine King reached the origin core realm, its battle power would rise to a whole new level. Zhao Feng. If the demonic hell Vine King reaches the origin core realm, even sovereigns will have to retreat. No one in the Purple Saint ruins will be able to threaten it. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice sounded. The skeletal division leader's heart clenched. It would be hard for it to kill the demonic hell Vine King in its current state. Once it broke through, the consequences would be unimaginable. Of course, neither Zhao Feng nor the skeletal division leader were afraid of the Vine King. They were afraid of the entire ocean of vines. The ocean of vines would stall Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader at the same time. If there's 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life, everything will be for naught. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. This time, his opponents would be the upper echelon of the 3 sects, and there might even be Void God Realm Kings behind them. This was because Void God Realm Kings were one of the requirements to enter a 2-star sect. However, the more one was afraid of something, the more likely it was to happen. Suddenly, Zhao Feng sensed another spatial ripple similar to the one before. I can't. Zhao Feng circulated his god's spiritual eye to the maximum. At this moment, his left eye was like a deep ocean, surging with eye bloodline power and unleashing unimaginable potential. Within the dimension of his left eye, the eye force lake was around 30 meters wide, and the whirlpool in the center spun rapidly, creating ripples of eye force that gave off a dreamy glow. Lock on. Zhao Feng's god spiritual eye used a sealing ability similar to the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline. Once this ability was used, the area that was locked onto would be restricted by his eye bloodline power. Wisps of transparent eye bloodline power seeped into the air and locked onto the area where the wisp of unusual spatial energy was coming from. The instant the space fluctuated, a drop of mysterious liquid the size of a finger appeared, emitting a vast and pure life force. It's here. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. Pung, pung. Zhao Feng's heartbeat and God spiritual eye started to speed up. The instant the elixir of life appeared, Zhao Feng used his eye bloodline power to restrict the area. Therefore, the moment the elixir of life appeared, it seemed to freeze in the air. The skeletal division leader felt this change, and the Purple Saint partial spirits saw it as well. It could be predicted. This was the moment that would decide their fate. Once the demonic hell Vine gained a foothold in the Purple Saint space station and paved the way for the 3 sects, the consequences would be unimaginable. Wu, the demonic hell Vine King, felt the existence of the elixir of life and grabbed it with its tentacles. Furthermore, the elixir of life was only restricted by Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power, so its life force could still leak. Go! Madness appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he instinctively used his eye bloodline power to control the elixir of life and try to take it away. In reality, with Zhao Feng's powerful eye bloodline power, it wasn't hard for him to control normal objects as long as they weren't too big. However, the problem was the elixir of life appeared in the center of the ocean of vines and was extremely close to the Vine King. If the Vine King moved slightly, countless vines would be able to seal off an area. Whoosh! Countless vines blocked the elixir of life's escape route. As long as it was touched, the power of the elixir of life would spread, and everything would be for naught. It's over. The skeletal division leader's heart dropped. The Purple Saint partial spirit who was on the third floor, also felt her heart jump into her throat. No matter how the elixir of life tried to escape, it would be doomed. Disappear. Zhao Feng gritted his teeth and had an insane expression. He had almost lost his mind. The eye bloodline power in his left eye circulated rapidly, forming a small whirlpool. At the critical moment, a sudden change occurred. The eye power ripples hovering around the life original fluid vaguely showed the outline of a vortex, which created an illusion of overlapping space. Shua, the elixir of life, disappeared. At the moment when the sea of tongue pounced towards them, they disappeared into thin air. Chapter 541. Disappear. Whoosh! The demonic vines that covered the sky and sealed off the entire area all missed their target. At that instant, the experts of the three sects on the towering mountain were all dumbfounded. Deathly silence. Even some of the primal core realm sovereigns had their eyes wide open. A breath or two later, the crowd broke out into chaos. What's going on? Why did that drop of origin life force disappear? Could it be that there was a problem with the spatial splitting array? Everyone broke out into discussion. Some people suspected that the origin life force had disappeared. However, the three Void God Realm Kings and Grandmaster Yin Kong, who was in charge of the space splitting array, were sure that the origin life force had been successfully delivered. Could it be that? Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes narrowed. Thinking back, the origin life force had been transferred over to the Vine King, but it had disappeared without a trace. If it had been taken away, they would at least be able to see where it had gone. However, the scene just now did not have any pattern to follow. Impossible. Could it be that Brat's eye bloodline can affect space? The three Void God realms looked at each other. At this point in time, the hearts of the experts on the mountain started to shake. That scene just now was too weird. Yi Yin Yu and the other core disciples that had interacted with Zhao Feng before were in disbelief. Last time in the ruins, Zhao Feng had also displayed all sorts of eye bloodline techniques that shocked everyone present. However, no matter what, those eye bloodlines could be traced, and it was possible to find similar techniques. However, the scene in front of them, making an object disappear into thin air. Wasn't this too unreasonable? Within the mysterious canyon, it disappeared. The skeletal division leader's eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. The purple Saint Partial Spirit, who was hiding behind the scenes, paused. Zhao Feng floated in the air as his blue hair blew in the wind. A small whirlpool could be seen in the center of his left eye. Within the dimension of his left eye, a drop of origin life fluid floated in the pitch-black space above the eye power lake. Just now, Zhao Feng was bewildered. If it weren't for the drop of origin life fluid floating in the dimension of his left eye, he would have doubted whether what happened was real or just an accident. But the truth was right before their eyes. That drop of life original fluid had been taken in by his god's spiritual eye out of thin air. Moreover, this kind of extraction was a spatial ability similar to void escape. It had no trace. This was similar to the little thieving cat being able to enter someone else's interspatial dimension. Zhao Feng's new eye bloodline ability was even more incredible. He could move an object into the dimension of his left eye. Lord King, what happened just now might have been an accident. Let's try again. Grandmaster Yin Kong suggested. He had a guess in his heart and a strong desire to confirm it. All right, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess nodded. In any case, the Sea of Demonic Vines still held the advantage, and Zhao Feng did not have any new Fey beast to control. Delivery. With Grandmaster Yin Kong leading the way, the Array Masters opened the spatial splitting array. At the center of the space splitting array, a layer of bright silver cracks could be vaguely seen, forming something that looked like a cave. Strange waves were spreading from the other end of the cracks. Soon, Grandmaster Yin Kong placed the second drop of Origin Life Force into the cave. This time, I'll send the Origin Life Force directly into the Vine King's body. Grandmaster Yin Kong snickered coldly. The previous times, he had only sent the origin life force into the middle of the sea of vines. This time, he needed to send it into the Vine King's body, which was 10 times more difficult. At the moment of transfer, Master Kong's silver eyes shone with a mysterious silver light. Shwa! The delivery was successful. A proud smile appeared on Grandmaster Kong's face. To be able to teleport a single object to such a precise degree, perhaps only he, a master of spatial formations, could do it. Mysterious Canyon. It's here again. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. His god spiritual, I had been locked onto the area where the Vine King was. The spatial ripple was locked onto by Zhao Feng the moment it appeared. This time, the location where the origin life force appeared was unimaginably strange. It appeared within the demonic hell Vine King's body. In other words, as soon as the origin life force appeared, it would be absorbed by the demonic hell Vine King. The skeletal division leader couldn't even sense this. However, the purple Saint Partial Spirit saw it clearly. Damn it! Disappear! The power of Zhao Feng's left eye circulated to the maximum. A transparent ripple appeared in the area where the spatial ripple had appeared, and the outline of a whirlpool appeared in the center. In that instant, space seemed to twist and overlap. Shwa! The origin life force was sucked away by a mysterious power as soon as it appeared. The demonic hell Vine King continued to furiously wave its vines, as if it didn't sense anything. It was as if the origin life force had never appeared in the purple saint ruins before. At the same time, Shwa, a second drop of origin life force appeared in the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Hee, Zhao Feng. Well done. The only person who could see the entire process was the purple Saint Partial Spirit, the core intent of this dimension. Even the 3 Void God Realm Kings outside couldn't see it clearly. It wasn't that their senses weren't strong. The 3 Void God Realm Kings could only see what was happening in the Purple Saint ruins through the images. They couldn't see what was happening within the demonic hell Vine King's body either. Grandmaster Kong, what's the situation? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess eyebrows furrowed as she looked at Grandmaster Kong. Why wasn't there any reaction? Everyone was puzzled. They could only watch as Grandmaster Kong sent the drop of origin life force away. Lord King, I successfully sent that drop of origin life force into the Vine King's body, but Zhao Feng used some sort of spatial ability to take it away. Grandmaster Kong said bitterly. Take it away? Many powerful auras present exclaimed in shock. At this moment in time, the 3 Void God Realm Kings also looked at Grandmaster Kong and waited for his explanation. According to my analysis, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline has a spatial ability. To put it simply, it was to transfer an object from one space to another. It's like how I sent the origin life force into the Purple Saint ruins through the spatial cave. However, this ability of Zhao Feng's is even weirder. Grandmaster Kong took a deep breath. His next explanation touched on the laws of space, so only the 3 Void God Realm Kings and some sovereigns could understand. So that's how it is. If that's the case, then Zhao Feng's eye bloodline is far more terrifying than we imagined. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess murmured. Could he be a descendant of a god eye? Someone in the crowd said, and it caused an uproar. Now that the situation had developed to this point, even though the 3 major sects still had the upper hand, everyone felt a strong sense of defeat. Once they failed, most people would look for a reasonable excuse. A descendant of a god eye? Impossible. There's no such thing in the 8 great god eyes. Grandmaster Kong immediately shook his head. The 3 Void God Realm Kings didn't doubt his words at all. It was obvious. Grandmaster Kong had a certain understanding of the 8 great god eyes, and he even knew the legendary abilities of each god eye. Okay, everyone, stop being suspicious. After all, Grandmaster Kong has a bloodline connection to the space-time god eye, one of the 8 great god eyes. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess stopped everyone's suspicions. The discussion stopped. The 3 Void God Realm Kings and Grandmaster Kong started to discuss. There's another way. We can use the life force of the origin life force to slowly seep into it. Grandmaster Kong suggested. There's only 2 drops of origin life force left. The St. Moon ant goddess nodded her head. Mysterious canyon. After 2 dangerous encounters, Zhao Feng's back was drenched in cold sweat. His eyes were filled with shock and excitement. Suddenly, a steady stream of vitality surged around the demonic hell Vine King and was absorbed by the demonic hell Vine King and the Sea of Vines. In an instant, the Sea of Vines and the Vine King at the center were both growing in size and aura. The transfer of vitality was a continuous process, not a certain point in time. The other side isn't an idiot. Zhao Feng's heart shook. The god's spiritual eye's teleportation ability could only be used at a certain point in time. Every time it was used, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power would be expended. Just the 2 attacks just now had used 20 to 30% of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power. It was even more than the Eye of Heaven. Even Zhao Feng felt powerless against this endless flow of vitality energy. Zhao Feng, the Ghost Corp's cursed array, can't hold on for much longer, the Skeletal Division leader exclaimed as the pressure increased. On the other side, the power of the life original fluid continued to pour into the demonic hell Vine King, and the sea of demonic vines were getting stronger and stronger. At this point in time, the ocean of vines had already spread to a radius of 5 or 6 miles, completely suppressing the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Once the Ghost Corp's cursed array collapsed, even if Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader teamed up, they wouldn't be able to stop the growth of the ocean of vines. Haha, that brat can't do anything now, right? His beast army is already dead. He can't control any more beasts. The experts of the 3 sects on top of the towering mountain smiled. At this moment, Zhao Feng seemed to be at the end of his rope. His wind lightning technique was countered by the vines to a certain extent, and he couldn't control his beast army. The demonic hell Vine King's strength was slowly approaching the origin core realm. Every minute that passed meant that the danger of the Purple Saint ruins would increase. There's only one way left, Zhao Feng murmured. Shua! With a flash of lightning, Zhao Feng disappeared. Zhao Feng, why did you run? The Skeletal Division leader exclaimed as it maintained the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Shua! In almost an instant, Zhao Feng landed on the towering Tree Yao's back. Human, if you don't go fight the vines, you won't be able to escape even if you come here. The towering Tree Yao howled. Brother Tree Yao, let's fight together. Success or failure will be decided in the next moment. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. After saying that, his god's spiritual eye released a shocking eye bloodline power that seemed to extend into an abyss and locked onto the demonic hell Vine King. Zhao Feng, are you thinking of? The Skeletal Division leader's heart jumped. He faintly guessed that Zhao Feng was a little too crazy. Skeletal Division leader, hold on for a bit longer. Zhao Feng nodded his head and didn't deny it. He wanted to try that method, but he didn't have a 100% chance of succeeding by himself. However, with the help of the towering Tree Yao, he had an 80% chance. Chapter 542. Zhao Feng's actions caused the experts outside to be surprised. Is that brat at his wit's end? The Ghost Corp's cursed array won't last long. The Vine King will reach the origin core realm in less than an hour, and the ocean of vines will cover 10 miles. In everyone's eyes, Zhao Feng seemed to have given up on the Ghost Corp's cursed array, and he didn't have any beast to control. However, when Zhao Feng landed on the towering Tree Yao, the expressions of Lu Tianyi, Yi Yanyu, Zhuangler, Qi Gui, and the other geniuses changed dramatically. Back then, when Zhao Feng teamed up with the towering Tree Yao, that undefeatable figure was still fresh in their minds. And today, Zhao Feng landed on the towering Tree Yao once more. His figure was extremely small in front of the towering Tree Yao. Human, what do you want me to do? The towering Tree Yao didn't dare to underestimate this youth. There's not much time left. I need your wood spirit essence soul to help me deal with the Vine King. Zhao Feng's voice was urgent. The Skeletal Division leader wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Once the Ghost Corp's cursed array collapsed and the Vine King reached the origin core realm, the Purple Saint ruins wouldn't be able to stop the ocean of vines. Zhao Feng, I can only last 10 breaths at most. The skeletal division leader's panicked voice sounded. 10 breaths. Zhao Feng's heart shook, and the purple saint partial spirit felt pressured. This meant that there was only 10 breaths left for Zhao Feng. Merge. Zhao Feng's left eye surged with eye bloodline power. It was like a limitless abyss that radiated an invisible mental energy aura that filled the air. Wang, a surge of pure soul essence power flowed into Zhao Feng's soul from the leaves under his feet. Instantly, Zhao Feng's heart shook as that long-lost feeling of comfort appeared once more. His soul power was already on par with an Origin Core Realm Sovereign, and now that he had merged with the Wood Spirit Essence Soul, it had reached the level of a Sovereign. Furthermore, in this state, Zhao Feng's psychic senses and intent domain were strengthened by the towering tree spirit's enormous roots. All sorts of concepts that he had been unable to comprehend in the past were touched at this moment. Phew! In that instant, Zhao Feng and the towering tree Yao seemed to become the center of a whirlpool of heaven-earth yuan qi. Limitless heaven-earth yuan qi surged toward them, and the power was countless times stronger than normal True Lord ranks. The intent of the Origin Core Realm. The skeletal division leader and the purple saint partial spirit's expressions changed. In his current state, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to that of a venerable. His intent level was also close to that of a venerable. This was all thanks to the amplification from the towering tree demon, which allowed Zhao Feng to increase his strength by half a level in a short period of time. Freeze! Zhao Feng stood among the branches and leaves, his blue hair dancing wildly. A strong surge of mental energy, eye bloodline power covered the air and covered the Vine King. The Vine King roared madly as its twisting body suddenly froze. Is he thinking of the purple saint partial spirit's heart moved? In the outside world, on the towering mountain, many of the experts from the three sects saw through the clues. It seems like his target is really the demonic Vine King. The Vine King's battle power is extremely close to a sovereign. Even a true sovereign wouldn't be able to kill it easily. Everyone discussed. In the image, the Vine King's body froze for a moment before it started to struggle. No, Zhao Feng probably doesn't want to kill the Vine King. Could it be that he wants to? Some people understood and their hearts shook. No wonder. A cold light flashed through Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes. One could guess that Zhao Feng didn't want to kill the Vine King. That wasn't realistic. Furthermore, Zhao Feng couldn't use the Jade Dragon protection in this area. Does Zhao Feng want to control the Vine King? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's laughter was like the sound of nature, making one feel like they were in a dream. The three Void God Realm Kings all saw through Zhao Feng's intentions. Zhe, this brat's ambition isn't small. Without any beast to control, he's targeting the Vine King. The Golden Skeleton King had a playful expression. The Vine King's battle power is extremely close to a sovereign. Controlling it requires at least the power of a sovereign soul. On top of that, the Vine King is huge and has some special characteristics. Even a venerable beast tamer would find it very difficult to tame it. The three Void God Realm Kings laughed casually, as if they weren't worried at all. They didn't believe that Zhao Feng, a brat at the true spirit realm, could have the soul power of sovereign. Tom seemed to slow down at this moment. That was because the Vine King's movements were becoming stiffer and slower, and the amount of strength it exerted was also becoming slower. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 5 breaths. The expressions of the three Void God Realm Kings changed slightly. The hearts of the other three sects shook. How is this possible? Some of the sovereigns at the Origin Core Realm revealed expressions of disbelief. In the Scryer recording, the demonic Hell Vine King, whose battle prowess was close to that of a venerable, was constantly being suppressed. After 5 breaths, the demonic Hell Vine King even had a feeling of calmness. The skeletal division leader was using a lot of effort to maintain the ghost-cursed array, but it felt like the pressure had lessened. Because the demonic Hell Vine King stopped its attack on the Ghost Corpse cursed formation. Only the remaining vines were still invading and spreading. Between the leaves, Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind, and his expression was solemn. This Vine King's consciousness is so violent and bloodthirsty. It's a demonic existence. Zhao Feng's mental energy entered the Vine King's consciousness, but it was countered by the terrifying negative mental energy. At every moment, Zhao Feng had to endure the violent and bloodthirsty negative aura. It was extremely tiring. The Devil Vine King was not an ordinary creature. Its mind consciousness was violent and tyrannical. It was a completely devilized creature. Its every move was not completely controlled by its intelligence. It was because of this that Zhao Feng faced a lot of resistance when he tried to control the Vine King. In my current state, I have a 40 to 50% chance of controlling an Origin Core Realm beast. The difficulty of controlling this Vine King is on par with the former. Zhao Feng kept on condensing his eye bloodline power. No matter what, he still had the advantage. In a short amount of time, Zhao Feng could barely influence the Vine King and make it calm down, reducing the pressure on the Skeletal Division leader. However, Zhao Feng wasn't able to truly control the Vine King yet. Eye of Heaven. Zhao Feng circulated his eye bloodline power to the extreme, surpassing the limits of his physical body. Shua. In that instant, Zhao Feng's consciousness jumped into the clouds. A transparent blue Eye of Heaven floated in the air and looked down coldly. In the Eye of Heaven state, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline techniques and his own intent had reached a new level, and his control had reached a limit. Get down! In the soul dimension, a cold and overbearing voice resounded, as if 10,000 thunders were striking him. Boom! The enormous Vine King shuddered, and all of its tentacles trembled as if they were submitting to the feet of an ancient god. Immediately after, the attacks of the demonic hell vines within a mile or two started to decrease, as if they had received some sort of order. The Vine Kings stopped attacking, and it seems to be affecting the nearby vines. The Skeletal Division leader felt less pressure. It couldn't help but look up at the Eye of Heaven with wariness, shock, and admiration. He succeeded. On the third floor, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit and Zhao Yufei were overjoyed. Shua. The Eye of Heaven disappeared after a couple breaths. Hee, Skeletal Division leader, you don't need to worry about the Vine King anymore. Get rid of the vines nearby. Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he stood amongst the leaves. The Skeletal Division leader paused for a moment before coming back to its senses. At this moment, the Vine King was under Zhao Feng's control, and all the vines within a mile or two had almost stopped attacking. The ones further away were only growing instinctively, and their momentum wasn't as strong as before. Under this situation, the Skeletal Division leader stabilized the Ghost Corpse cursed array and started to focus on the vines further away. Zhao Feng merged with the towering tree Yao's with spirit essence soul and controlled the Vine King. He even made it hurt some of its tentacles to fight with the other vines nearby. Although the Vine King had the support of the Origin life force from the outside world, the Vine King's strength was under Zhao Feng's control. Half the time it took for half an incense stick to burn later. The vines within a mile of the Vine King started to shatter. The Skeletal Division leader used the Ghost Corpse cursed array to get rid of the nearby vines. The growth of the surrounding vines slowed down sharply due to the lack of the power of the Vine King's side. In the outside world, on top of the mountain, the expressions of the three kings were slightly ugly. The plan to use the demonic hell Vine King as a powerful paving stone was ruined at this moment. Within the image, Zhao Feng controlled the Vine King, and the situation turned around. Before long, only the Vine King and some broken vines were left in the area of the loophole. Close the array. Zhao Feng's figure flashed and merged with the Skeletal Division leader. The Ghost Corpse curse formation completely enveloped the Vine King and the nearby vines, slowly shrinking and compressing them. Under the cover of the gray smoke, parts of the Vine King's enormous body started to fester. Zhao Feng, you're not going to completely control the Vine King? The Skeletal Division leader was surprised. He meant for Zhao Feng to raise the Vine King as a spiritual pet. The Vine King's intelligence is very low, and its consciousness is chaotic. It's very hard to control. Furthermore, the reason it exists is to eat and grow. If it's not careful, it'll bring disaster. Zhao Feng explained. It was already extremely hard for him to control the Vine King. Time passed by slowly. The Vine King's body started to rot, and the 15 ghost corpses within the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array's aura had reached the peak True Lord rank, and the power of the curse became even more terrifying. Before this, these ghost corpses had absorbed the blood essence of several hundred true spirit realm cultivators. Now that they had killed so many vines, they had absorbed an endless amount of negative mental energy. Although there's only 15 ghost corpses, their power is comparable to dozens of cursed ghost corpses. Zhao Feng nodded his head in his heart. An hour later, all the demonic hell vines in this area had been killed. The demonic hell Vine King's body started to shrink until it glowed with a black flame before fading away. Where it stood, all that was left was a hard, shriveled, and black seed. Demonic hell vine seed. Chapter 543. Zhao Feng reached out his hand and picked up the demonic hell vine seed that could bring destruction. Both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader's eyes were filled with wariness toward this demonic vine seed. If I throw this seed into the azure flower continent and purposely grow it for a few days, it might bring destruction to the entire continent. Zhao Feng put the demonic hell vine seed into his ancient metal ring. This scene obviously fell into the eyes of the 3 void God Realm kings. The value of a demonic hell vine seed was hard to estimate even for void God Realm kings. In some battles, if the demonic hell vine seed was used properly, it could break the balance of the battle. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess obtained this demonic hell vine seed from the spiritual sacred land. But now, it's in the hands of a true spirit realm ant. There's going to be a good show to watch. The golden skeleton and the demonic Dao King looked at each other with schadenfreude. The 3 two-star sects of the Tianlu Islands zone cooperated with each other, but they also had conflicts. Outwardly, the 3 sects were on the same side, but internally, they often had conflicts. In the last few thousand years, the pure moon spiritual sect had been the leader, and the Moon Demon Palace and the Black Cliff Palace had only been able to barely resist them. At this moment, the Golden Skeleton and the demonic Dao King were obviously happy to see the Saint Moon Ant Goddess suffer. Grandmaster In Kong, quickly consolidate your Sky Meridian. No matter what price the pure moon spiritual sect has to pay, we'll capture this Zhao Feng alive. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's pure and dignified face turned cold. Instantly, a coldness and pressure that came from the soul filled the air within 1,000 miles. The experts of the 3 sects felt as if their consciousness had been locked, and an invisible coldness made their souls feel as if they had fallen into an ice cavern. You too, don't just stand around. Team up with me and stop the hole in the ruins from being repaired. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze swept over the other 2 void God Realm kings. At the same time, within the Purple Saint ruins, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader started to clean up the mess. The repair array has been destroyed in the battle just now. The skeletal division leader said. The most urgent task at hand was to rebuild the Grand Repair Formation. If they could fix all the flaws in the ruins, the chances of the 3 sects invading the Purple Saint ruins would be extremely low. At this moment, Zhao Feng sensed 3 powerful and suffocating auras coming from afar and entering the center of the mysterious canyon. Just a few wisps of the 3 auras were enough to put Zhao Feng's soul under tremendous pressure. At that moment, the skeletal division leader and Zhao Feng's consciousness started to tremble, and they felt as if they were worshipping Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, 3 void God Realm kings have tried to stop the flaw from being repaired and even expanded. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice sounded. 3 void God Realm kings. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader felt that if these 3 magnificent powers were right in front of them, they would be able to destroy their divine souls with just one thought. So this is a void God Realm king. So terrifying. Zhao Feng's heart trembled. Even the Lord Sect Master back then did not possess such might. The skeletal division leader's soul trembled. The hearts of the two dropped. The joy and excitement brought by the victory was gone. Zhao Feng couldn't imagine that his opponents were such powerful existences. Don't worry, the Purple Saint Ruins is very far away from the Tianlu Islands. The three Void God Realm Kings are just using the power of the spatial array to send their auras in. On the other hand, their spatial array can't handle the power of a Void God Realm. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled and said. Hearing that, Zhao Feng let out a breath. Putting aside him, even one-star sects like the Heavenly Yuan clan and the Mystic Ice Palace were useless against a Void God Realm King. Zhao Feng, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit, said solemnly, just do your best. Taking a step back, even if a Void God Realm King attacks the Purple Saint Ruins, I can destroy it with just a thought. I can even teleport you and Yufei away before I destroy the ruins. Even if you gave them 10,000 guts, the three empty God Realm would not dare to take the risk. Understand. Zhao Feng's heart calmed down, and he suddenly felt respect for the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. Even if they failed, Zhao Feng had a path of retreat. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit was already on the verge of death, and she wouldn't allow her inheritor to be harmed. She definitely wouldn't give this inheritance to those bandits. A period of time after that, Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader started to build a repair array and create new cursed ghost corpses. The array was set up to repair the flaws in the ruins and stop the three Void God Realm Kings from expanding them. Therefore, Zhao Feng would occasionally merge with the towering tree Yao's with spirit essence soul and use his Eye of Heaven to control group after group of beasts. The power of the Eye of Heaven was extremely strong. Every time it was used, one could see everything within 1,000 miles and tame several hundred beasts at the true spirit realm without any difficulty. Relatively speaking, Zhao Feng's task was easier. He would only occasionally use the Eye of Heaven to control beasts or search for abnormalities in the ruins. The rest of the time, Zhao Feng would sit on a branch of the towering tree Yao and comprehend with his eyes closed. After the previous battle, Zhao Feng had comprehended a new eye bloodline technique, and his eye bloodline power had become stronger. Unknowingly, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to an origin core realm. With the help of the towering tree Yao and the Eye of Heaven, his control over heaven and earth was stronger than before. There seemed to be an invisible whirlpool where Zhao Feng sat, and the heaven-earth yuan qi uncontrollably flowed toward him. It was as if he had placed his heart into heaven and earth. At this point in time, Zhao Feng was slowly reaching the origin core realm, and his cultivation speed was 100 times faster than the Azure Flower Continent. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit could feel that Zhao Feng's cultivation was increasing bit by bit. Essence, qi, and spirit become one, harmonizing with nature. Zhao Feng suddenly remembered a familiar intent that he had learned from Xian Wuheng. Xian Wuheng's mysterious state was actually similar to the primal core realm state. In other words, Xian Wuheng's intent was a simplified version of the intent of the origin core realm. See, Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. Could it be that Xian Wuheng had comprehended the shortcut to the origin core realm a long time ago? If that was the case, it would be countless times easier for Xian Wuheng to break through to the origin core realm. What kind of secret did Xian Wuheng have? Zhao Feng had a feeling that Xian Wuheng hadn't returned after entering the Heaven's Legacy inheritance. According to his performance at the Sacred True Dragon Gathering, Xian Wuheng's goal was the Heaven's Legacy inheritance, and he seemed to understand it better than others. Within the ruins, Zhao Feng could still cultivate when he was free, but the Skeletal Division leader and the little thieving cat were busy. The Skeletal Division leader had to set up the array and refine the cursed ghost corpses. The little thieving cat had always been a supervisor, and its status could not be replaced. Only it had the ability to communicate with so many beasts and make them do all kinds of work. Right now, it's extremely important to finish the 100 Corpse plan. It can greatly increase our battle power. Zhao Feng gave a suggestion to the Purple Saint Partial Spirit after analyzing for a long time. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit soon made a decision and told Zhao Yufei to stop refining the core and take over the skeletal division leader's job. Although Zhao Yufei didn't know how to set up an array, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit could contact her at any time. This way, the skeletal division leader could enter the 10,000 Ghost Pearl and refine the cursed ghost corpses. Time passed by slowly. The number of cursed ghost corpses in the 10,000 Ghost Pearl kept on increasing. 15, 16, 17, 20. The main material of the cursed ghost corpses came from the true Lord rank corpses of the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground and were the source of the power of curses. On the other side, the 3 Void God Realm Kings unleashed their magnificent power and started to enter the mysterious canyon. Fortunately, there were many repair formations and energy-gathering formations here, speeding up the repair of the holes and flaws. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the towering tree Yao and cultivated. He didn't need to do it himself, but he could occasionally use his Eye of Heaven to tame the beasts. The power of my soul is comparable to a sovereign right now, and I've touched the intent of sovereign. When I reach the peak true Lord rank, I'll be able to reach the half-step origin core realm in 1 step. Zhao Feng spent most of his time on comprehension. A month passed in the blink of an eye. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader had refined 10 new cursed ghost corpses. In total, there were 25 cursed ghost corpses. 1/4 of the 100 corpse plan had been completed. With 10 more ghost corpses, the ghost corpse cursed array's power will definitely increase. Normal half-step origin core realms won't be able to leave. The skeletal division leader was extremely confident. In a limitless ocean on the mountain, the aura of the spatial splitting array in the air was even more complete. At the core of the array, a layer of faint silver cracks formed a rippling cave. It was so deep that one couldn't see the end of it. 3 kings. The cave has stabilized and can send a group of people into the Purple Saint ruins. However, the strongest expert is a small origin core realm leader, and the number of people is limited. Grandmaster Yin Kong said tiredly. The eyes of the 3 Void God Realm Kings twinkled as they discussed. Send a powerful venerable, the kind that can crush several ordinary venerables. The Golden Skeleton suggested. That's right. Although the skeleton in the ruins is also at the origin core realm, it's very weak. The demonic Tao King licked his lips. The 2 Void God Realm Kings from the Black Cliff Palace and Moon Demon Palace both suggested sending origin core realms from their sections. Sending experts into the Purple Saint ruins was a matter of their sex benefits. 3 lords, let me go. Grand Elder, I alone am enough to deal with that skeleton and that blue hair brat. Some of the sovereigns below were tempted to try and even volunteered to do it. This was a great opportunity to make a great contribution. Indeed, the battle power of sovereigns from 2-star sects definitely surpassed normal sovereigns from the Azure Flower Continent. Some of the sovereigns present could kill several of the skeletal division leader's strength. Chapter 544. As for the candidate of the Venerable, the 3 major sects all suggested experts from their own side. Even the 2 Void God Realm Kings from the Golden Skeleton had recommended someone. We didn't achieve the desired result in the previous path. The leader of the first team to be sent and must be able to gain a firm foothold in the relic. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess cold eyes scanned through the crowd. Stand firm? The other 2 kings couldn't help but think. Being able to gain a firm foothold was not necessarily based on one's combat power. To lead a group of people into the Purple Saint ruins and successfully set up camp, there were many factors such as strength, intelligence, ability to plan, and so on. Marshal Ant, leave this mission to me. In the crowd, a slightly chubby youth with a lazy look suddenly spoke. This slightly fat youth cultivation had reached the origin core realm, and his aura was even more terrifying than normal sovereigns. Lu Tianyi. Many experts of the 3 sects noticed Lu Tianyi and revealed a strange expression, feeling fear in their hearts. Although Lu Tianyi had just become a sovereign, his master was a Void God Realm King, and his inheritance surpassed normal sovereigns. Apparently, when Lu Tianyi was at the half-step origin core realm, he was barely able to fight against the sovereign. He had recently broken through to the origin core realm and defeated several sovereigns of the older generation. No one doubted Lu Tiany's battle power, and since he was the disciple of a king, he should have some powerful hidden cards. Tiany. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze landed on Lu Tiany, and she shook her head with a faint smile. I don't doubt your strength, but as the leader of the first group to enter the ruins, you're not the best choice. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess rejected Lu Tiany without any hesitation. Lu Tiany was unwilling, but he couldn't change the will of a Void God Realm king. Looks like the Saint Moon Ant Goddess already has a choice. The Golden Skeleton and the demonic Tao King looked at each other. As expected, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze fell on a woman dressed in a blue palace robe that was as gentle as water. Elder Shui Yun. The blue-robed woman was dignified and gentle, and her beauty was otherworldly. Her skin was tender and white like a baby's, flawless snow white, as if she didn't belong to this world. Instantly, everyone's gazes locked onto the blue-clothed woman, Elder Shui Yun. Some of the men found it hard to conceal the shock in their eyes. Looking at the crowd, Elder Shui Yun was indeed a peerless beauty. Is that her? The eyebrows of the other two Void God Realm kings furrowed, but they understood after thinking about it. Elder Shui Yun is a famous doctor of the Tianlu Islands. She is especially skilled in treatment. It's said that Elder Shui Yun's team has gone through many dangerous 6th-rank missions and returned with 0 casualties, breaking the 10,000-year record. Everyone discussed animatedly. In the beginning, some people were doubtful. After all, this Elder Shui Yun was a sovereign in the pure moon spiritual sect, and the first mission should have been given to someone who was good at fighting. This woman is quite capable. The Golden Skeleton and the demonic Tao King thought for a moment, but didn't object. According to the Saint Moon Ant Goddess's arrangements, the first batch of teams to enter the ruins had to stand firm. The main point was the word stability. Elder Shui Yun's fighting prowess isn't bad amongst the sovereigns. She's adept at coordination, so her teams rarely suffer any casualties. After some discussion, the experts of the 3 sects agreed with Elder Shui Yun. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, another 4 half-step origin core realms and more than a dozen peak true lord ranks were confirmed. There is also a round of discussion and competition among the candidates for these experts. Finally, a group of almost 20 people stood in front of the cave and prepared to leave. Mysterious Canyon. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the towering tree Yao and would use the eye of heaven every once in a while to scan the entire area and search around. Over the last couple of days, he was comprehending a new eye bloodline technique, spatial movement. Spatial movement referred to taking something from the air and moving it into the dimension of his left eye. When he first used this eye bloodline technique, it took a lot of energy out of Zhao Feng's body. Even though his comprehension and control had increased, the energy it took was only slightly lower. Luckily, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to a sovereign, and his mental energy had touched the level of a sovereign, so he could use this technique many times. Recently, Zhao Feng's understanding of spatial movement had improved. Shua, with a thought, a drop of origin life force appeared in Zhao Feng's hand. So, objects that were taken into the dimension of his left eye could be taken out again. Shua, Zhao Feng once again circulated his god's spiritual eye, and the drop of origin life force disappeared. In the next instant, the drop of origin life force appeared half a mile away. There was no trace of this movement. It was a spatial ability. The dimension of my left eye is like a transfer station. I can take an object in and then quickly move it to another place. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. Because spatial movement expended a lot of energy, he could only practice it 4 or 5 times a day to maintain his peak state. This was because Zhao Feng didn't know what the 3 sects would do next. That afternoon, Zhao Feng closed his eyes and prepared to practice spatial movement again. His god's spiritual eye suddenly felt a disturbance in space that came from the center of the mysterious canyon. The disturbance this time was extremely strong. It was as if a weird power of space was forcefully breaking through. Zhao Feng, watch out. Some experts are being sent in through the spatial array. The purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. At the same time, the skeletal division leader, the little thieving cat, and Zhao Yufei also received the news. No one panicked. They were prepared to fight at any moment. Wang, in the center of the mysterious canyon, a hole was torn open. Inside was a hazy silver mist. The powerful aura and spatial fluctuations directly destroyed the nearby trees. Beings weaker than the origin core realm would be instantly devoured if they were in this area. So. Many experts leaped out of the spatial cracks one after another. The weakest among them was at the peak true lord rank, and they were all stronger than Tianma. One sovereign, 4 half-step origin core realms, and 13 peak true lord ranks. Zhao Feng's god spiritual, I saw everything clearly from afar. The leader of this group was a female sovereign in a blue dress. She seemed weak, but she was a peerless beauty. Zhezhe, the 3 sects are pretty generous to send in a beauty. The skeletal division leader walked out of the 10,000 ghost pearl. Wang, the hole that was torn open in space, quickly disappeared after this group of people entered. There's only one venerable. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader let out a breath after finding out the enemy's situation. It wasn't hard to imagine that the void cave's carrying capacity was limited. It could only carry one supreme expert at a time. Elder Shui Yun, Zhao Feng's over there. An ethereal and pure beauty in the group turned her bright eyes toward Zhao Feng. She seemed to be very familiar with the terrain and immediately spotted Zhao Feng. Yi Yanyu. Zhao Feng paused for a moment as he looked at the familiar figure. At this moment in time, Yi Yanyu's face was cold, and she didn't hide the killing intent in her heart. If it weren't for the fact that there was an origin core realm next to Zhao Feng, Yi Yanyu would have killed him already. After 3 years, Yi Yanyu's cultivation had increased by leaps and bounds, and she was even stronger than Lu Tianyi from back then. Yanyu, let's not attack yet. Elder Shui Yun smiled and gave off a strange aura that calmed Yi Yanyu's heart. Next, Elder Shui Yun commanded everyone to attack and destroy the repair and energy gathering arrays nearby. Rumble. Some of the formations in the surrounding area were easily destroyed by the group of experts. Their efficiency was so high that it left one speechless. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader were both surprised. As expected, the group of experts from the 3 sects didn't attack the 2 of them immediately after entering the ruins. One had to know. Zhao Feng and company were only 1 mile away from Elder Shui Yun's group. Immediately after, Elder Shui Yun ordered some experts to set up a formation here. These people are ignoring us. The skeletal division leader's expression was grim. It wasn't scared since there was only one sovereign. Zhao Feng, those people probably want to take root here and set up a spatial array to connect to the void cave in the outside world. At that time, there won't be any restrictions on how many experts the 3 sects can send in. The purple Saint Partial Spirit said urgently, "Go!" Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader charged toward the group without hesitation. Elder Shui Yun, they're here. Yi Yanyu's voice was filled with urgency. Prepare for battle. Elder Shui Yun pursed her lips and smiled. Her warm aura made people's hearts beat faster and make them feel inferior. Zhao Feng, leave that bitch to me. You'll be in charge of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. The flames in the skeletal division leader's eye sockets jumped with excitement. Zhao Feng nodded his head as a black flag appeared in his hand. Hushua, within a radius of 1,000 feet, a thick, dark gray cloud suddenly formed. The powerful death ghost corpse chi sealed off the entire area. There were a total of 25 cursed ghost corpses in the billowing gray smoke, arranged in a specific formation. Zhao Feng didn't attack rashly. Instead, he waved the black flag and pushed the power of the ghost corpse cursed array toward the 3 sections. So, right at this moment, the skeletal division leader flew into the air and waved its hand. The heaven-earth yuan chi trembled as a golden silver bone claw leaped toward Elder Shui Yun. Sovereign versus Sovereign. The Skeletal Division leader's target was Elder Shui Yun. After such a long period of rest, the Skeletal Division leader's strength was almost back to its peak. This attack was enough to kill a half-step origin core realm from the Azure Flower Continent. Don't even think about it. Yi and Yu and company harumphed coldly and prepared to stop it. Let me. Elder Shui Yun smiled as she waved her hand. Bo, a deep blue bubble with a dreamy glow appeared in Elder Shui Yun's hand. Crack! The bubble expanded to dozens of yards wide and seemed light, but it was extremely heavy. It seemed to gather all the water yuan qi in the air and instantly shattered the golden silverbone claw. This power and profound intent made both Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader jump up in fright. Go! Elder Shui Yun waved her hand again, and the half-dimmed bubble shattered, turning into a dark blue stream of water that sent the Skeletal Division leader flying half a mile away. Chapter 545. As the two sovereigns clashed, it was obvious who was stronger. Elder Shui Yun casually waved her hand, and the dreamy water bubble sent the Skeletal Division leader flying. Zhao Feng was surprised as he stood in the center of the ghost corpse cursed array. Bitch! The Skeletal Division leader's screams sounded as it struggled to climb up from the ground. This was because the Skeletal Division leader had half the mastery of the bone refining art. Its body was extremely strong, and it could ignore attacks from half-step sovereigns. Elder Shui Yun's strength definitely surpasses normal sovereigns since she was sent here by the three sections. She must also have some other special abilities. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. He wasn't surprised that the Skeletal Division leader had lost, but the difference in strength was shocking. Although the Skeletal Division leader hadn't recovered to its peak, it had the strength of a complete origin core realm. However, it was sent flying in one move. Haha! That skeleton can't even take a single blow. The experts of the three sects laughed in the outside world. The morale of the group, led by Elder Shui Yun, rose dramatically. Elder Shui Yun, let's go and kill Zhao Feng and that skeleton. Then everything will be fine. Yi and Yu and the other experts in the team were tempted to give it a try. There's no rush. Elder Shui Yun stood where she was. Her clothes were spotless, and there were ripples on her body, making her seem beautiful and calm. Her clear eyes turned and descended onto the surging dark clouds of smoke that pressed down towards them. This was the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. This Elder Shui Yun is very calm. She didn't chase after the Skeletal Division leader. If it was someone like Lu Qianni, he would have probably chased after the Skeletal Division leader. After all, the glory and effect of killing a venerable one seemed to be very great. Little did they know that this would give Zhao Feng a chance. As long as Elder Shui Yun chased after the Skeletal Division leader, Zhao Feng would kill the others. Whoosh! The Skeletal Division leader charged through the air once again and waved its golden silver whip. Bone dragons that were dozens of yards long pounced toward Elder Shui Yun. For a moment, the heaven and earth yuan qi within a 10-mile radius roared and shook, forming a boundless power of nature. The strength of a venerable was on full display. Go! Zhao Feng waved the black flag, and dark gray clouds formed into giant gray tentacles that radiated a terrifying aura of resentment that tried to corrode the people around Elder Shui Yun. Insignificant skill. Yi and Yu and the rest of the half-step Martial Highness Realm cultivators were fearless as they unleashed their moves. Puff puff! As soon as the power of the Ghost Corpse Curse formation seeped into it, it was shattered by the power of the various light phantoms. Even those peak True Lord ranks had the battle prowess of a half-step origin core realm expert of the Azure Flower Continent. As for Yi and Yu and the other three half-step sovereigns, each of them could match up to 2 or 3 half-step sovereigns in the Azure Flower Continent. If these 4 half-step exalts joined forces, they could even go against an exalt. These people are probably the elites of the same level in a 2-star sect. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. He was well aware of how powerful the Ghost Corpse curse formation was. The 25 cursed ghost corpses radiated a terrifying power of resentment that could kill normal True Lord ranks, and those at the half-step Origin Core realm wouldn't be able to leave. Boom! An explosion sounded in the air, and a gust of cold wind swept across a dozen miles. Bitch! The skeletal division leader's body was sent flying once more. Woo! Zhao Feng's ghost corpse cursed array had covered a radius of 1 to 2 miles, and more than half of it had disappeared. Its expression changed dramatically, and it quickly stabilized the array. The skeletal division leader had been completely crushed by the two sovereigns. Ha ha ha! Everyone in Elder Shui Yun's group raised their heads and laughed with disdain. Yi Yinyu and company were filled with battle intent, and they almost charged into the Ghost Corpse curse formation to kill Zhao Feng. Stop! Elder Shui Yun exclaimed as she stopped Yi Yinyu and company once more. Elder Shui Yun, we have the absolute advantage. Why don't we just kill these two? One of the half-step Origin Core realm experts asked. Absolute advantage? That's not necessarily true. Elder Shui Yun's face was calm as she analyzed. This is the Purple Saint Ruins, the enemy's territory. Furthermore, the real threat isn't this Origin Core realm skeleton, but that Zhao Feng. At this moment, the skeletal division leader crawled up from the ground. It was probably injured. This time, the skeletal division leader walked over to the Ghost Corpse cursed array and didn't dare to attack again. It was extremely wary of Elder Shui Yun. If it weren't for the fact that it was wary of Zhao Feng, it wouldn't be hard for Elder Shui Yun to kill the skeletal division leader. Zhao Feng, the head-on clash between sovereigns will increase the number of openings. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit warned. Hearing this, Zhao Feng's heart dropped, and he couldn't help but overestimate Elder Shui Yun. Elder Shui Yun's grasp of the situation was extremely clear. She focused on stability and didn't care about the small gains or losses. In the outside world on a mountain, within the image, the two sides faced each other. Elder Shui Yun and the 20 or so others clashed with the gray mist. Yi Yinyu and company, along with 4 half-step Origin Core realm experts, broke through the Ghost Corpse curse formation. Elder Shui Yun is indeed very stable. The team that she leads has almost 0 casualties every time. It can be said that she never misses anything. The experts of the 3 sects couldn't help but sigh. Pure water, sacred flower. Elder Shui Yun's jade-like hand suddenly waved, and a wave of blue raindrops landed on Yi Yinyu and company. Some of the experts that had been carelessly eroded by the air of death and the power of hatred were instantly healed. They were completely new. The entire group was filled with life, and no one was injured. What? The hearts of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader jumped. She saw through it. Although Zhao Feng's Ghost Corpse curse formation didn't seem to threaten Yi Yinyu and company, the power of hatred and curse was slowly seeping into them. The power of hatred and curse wasn't much of a threat. However, as time passed, the essence of these people would be eroded and their battle power would decrease dramatically. With such a powerful healing technique, anyone in her group will be able to survive as long as they aren't instantly killed. The skeletal division leader was shocked. The two started to realize that Elder Shui Yun wasn't a normal sovereign. If I'm not wrong, she's a support-type sovereign. She doesn't specialize in fighting, and she doesn't need to. She just needs to stabilize herself and wait for more experts to come. Zhao Feng suddenly realized that something wasn't right. Not far away, Elder Shui Yun had a charming smile on her face. She looked pure and holy, beautiful and dignified. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader controlled the Ghost Corpse curse formation, but they couldn't do anything to Elder Shui Yun. In this period of time, both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader tried to use a secret technique. In the end, Elder Shui Yun didn't let anything through. Every member of her group was unharmed. As long as Zhao Feng and company stopped attacking, Elder Shui Yun would try to create an array to connect to the outside world. Outside, Mountain Peak. Elder Shui Yun has stabilized herself. she'll be able to send the next batch of people in 10 days. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled and said, everyone admired Elder Shui Yun's calmness. Indeed, if Elder Shui Yun used her full strength, she had a 70 to 80% chance of killing Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader. However, doing that in the unknown Purple Saint ruins was still risky. On the other hand, Elder Shui Yun's goal was to deal with the enemies with the least amount of casualties. Tiani, 10 days from now, when the sky cave stabilizes again, you will lead a group of people to reinforce Elder Shui Yun. The St. Moon Ant Goddess's gaze fell on Lu Qianni. Thank you, Martial Ant. Lu Qianni was overjoyed. He knew that the St. Moon Ant Goddess had left this opportunity to kill the enemy for him. After all, Elder Shui Yun was a logistician, so she was rather conservative. Once she stabilized her position, Lu Qianni, a radical militant, would naturally be the best match for her. Purple Saint Ruins, Mysterious Canyon. The pressure on Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader increased. This Elder Shui Yun is like an egg that can be easily exploited. The Skeletal Division leader cried. Zhao Feng's eyes flickered indeterminately. Finally, he sighed and said, looks like I have to exhaust all means. Zhao Feng, if you have any tricks up your sleeves, you'd better take them out as soon as possible. Otherwise, when the next batch of reinforcements from the three sects arrives, the Skeletal Division leader's expression became weird. Swoosh! In a flash, Zhao Feng disappeared from the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Skeletal Division leader, from now on, all you need to do is control the Ghost Corp's cursed array and stall these people. When the voice sounded, Zhao Feng had already arrived on top of the towering tree Yao. Why did you run again? The Skeletal Division leader's scalp went numb. It was under a lot of pressure to block Elder Shui Yun's group alone. Luckily, Elder Shui Yun only glanced at Zhao Feng and didn't target the Skeletal Division leader's Ghost Corp's cursed array. The Skeletal Division leader waved the black flag and summoned the Ghost Corp's cursed array to attack the invaders. However, with Elder Shui Yun, 4 half-step sovereigns, and more than a dozen peak True Lord ranks working together, the Skeletal Division leader's attack was obviously ineffective. What is this Zhao Feng planning? The Skeletal Division leader cursed in its heart. Right at this moment, the Skeletal Division leader felt a heavy mental energy pressure weighing down on its head. Elder Shui Yun's group couldn't help but raise their heads and jump up in fright. Shua! A translucent blue eye of heaven appeared in the sky and looked down coldly at the people below. In the group, everyone felt an irresistible pressure, and their minds became heavy. What a strong mental energy aura. Is Zhao Feng's soul comparable to a sovereign? Elder Shui Yun's expression changed, and she felt uneasy. In the sky, the eye of heaven revealed a hint of cruelty and coldness. The mental pressure from the void was boundlessly majestic, continuously gathering and rising, condensing and suppressing this part of the world. Zhao Feng's soul was now comparable to a sovereign, and after merging with the wood spirit essence soul, it was slightly stronger than normal small origin core realms. In theory, in this state, Zhao Feng could look down on normal sovereigns with his eye bloodline. Chapter 546. Eye of Illusion, Illusion City Maze. The eye of heaven in the sky was blue and transparent, and there was an invisible whirlpool within it that created a fatal attractive force. With the support of the Origin Core Realm's eye bloodline power, the illusion spread through the air and covered heaven and earth. Shua! The experts of the 3 sects couldn't fight back at all, and their minds shook. In the next instant, the scene within the mysterious canyon no longer existed. The surging gray smoke also disappeared from his sight. Everyone was now in a desolate ancient city. The ancient city was shrouded in endless white mist. The terrain of the city was complicated, like a huge maze. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, who seemed to be struggling, everyone else was affected by the illusion and lost their sense of direction and self in the maze. The Skeletal Division leader's eyes lit up. What a powerful mental energy illusion technique. This was the chance. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and pushed the power of the Ghost Corp's cursed array toward the group of 3 sections. The dark mist containing the power of the curse successfully reached the group of 3 sections. Yi and Yu and the others couldn't help but groan. Although they were in the Illusion City maze, they instinctively circulated their chi of true spirit to protect themselves as they were attacked by the death chi and curse. At this point in time, only Elder Shui Yun was able to block the power of the Illusion City maze. In the outside world, on a mountain, not good. The expressions of the experts of the 3 sects changed dramatically as they looked at the scene in the image. What a powerful mental energy illusion. That Zhao Feng merged with the ancient tree Yao and used an eye bloodline technique that can threaten even sovereigns. Even some of the supremacies were frightened. This was because Elder Shui Yun was considered strong amongst those of the small origin core realm, and she specialized in defense. If even Elder Shui Yun could barely block Zhao Feng's mental energy eye bloodline technique, then some of the sovereigns present might fall. The stalemate was broken at this moment. Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to a sovereign's, and after merging with the wood spirit essence soul, it was slightly stronger than normal small origin core realms. Under the Eye of Heaven, the power of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was amplified to a certain extent. Therefore, Zhao Feng used his Eye of Heaven to instantly place the group from the 3 sects in danger. Phew! Under the corrosion of the Ghost Corp's cursed array, the peak true lord ranks of the 3 sects group were injured and their mental energy was depleted. Zhao Feng, if you have such a powerful move, why didn't you use it earlier? The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned waves of gray smoke that tried to engulf the group of the 3 sections. He purposely directed the power toward Elder Shuiyun. Of course, the skeletal division leader didn't consider the fact that Zhao Feng was holding back because he didn't know how many terrifying methods the Void God Realm Kings had up their sleeves. Under such circumstances, it was naturally better to preserve as much strength as possible. Earth Rank Divine Weapon, Aqua Meteorite Pearl. Elder Shui Yun opened her mouth and spat out a damaged water droplet that was around the size of a goose egg. The jade green water droplet was coiled with a layer of gorgeous and deep water ripples, and it surged with a majestic and tranquil aura of water. The moment the pearl appeared, all the spiritual rank divine armaments present trembled in fear. This girl has an incomplete Earth-grade weapon, the skeletal division leader exclaimed. The power of the Ghost Corp's curse array was absorbed by an immeasurable power as soon as it got close. With the naked eye, all that could be seen was a beautiful and deep rippling world of light. It was 100 zhang in diameter. It enveloped the 3 sects teams. In the team, some of the experts in the illusory city maze showed signs of struggle. This damaged, Earth-grade weapon has the effect of calming the mind? Zhao Feng's vision was in the sky, and he noticed something. Green sky water border. Elder Shui Yun waved her hand, and the rippling barrier completely stabilized. It gave off a green light and a powerful aura that blocked the Ghost Corp's cursed array's power from entering. Finish it all. Elder Shui Yun let out a breath. So that's how it is. The skeletal division leader's heart dropped. Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion was extremely strong, and it pushed the group into despair. However, Elder Shui Yun was also smart enough to use a support Earth-grade weapon. Although it wasn't a complete Earth-grade weapon, it had a strong water-type defensive power. With the protection of the green sky water border, even those at the origin core realm won't be able to break through. This way, even though my illusion city maze can affect everyone, it won't be able to threaten anyone's life. It'll just waste my eye bloodline power. Zhao Feng's expression changed. Elder Shui Yun didn't try to break through Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion. After all, the latter's eye bloodline power and soul bloodline power weren't simple. However, she used this silent defensive stance to ignore Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion. Furthermore, in the Eye of Heaven state, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power was extremely strong, and he definitely wouldn't be able to fight her for long. He, worthy of being an elite sovereign from a two-star sect. A light laugh sounded in the soul dimension. Shua, the eye of heaven in the clouds, suddenly disappeared. Elder Shui Yun let out a breath. However, before she could calm down, an even bigger eye of heaven appeared in the air. The higher one stood, the further one could see. At this moment, Zhao Feng's vision was extremely far, and he could almost see the entire Purple Saint ruins. What is this Zhao Feng playing at? The skeletal division leader murmured in its heart. Everyone, including Elder Shui Yun, didn't understand. Begin. A cold and indifferent voice echoed in the void. In the next instant, a boundless mental energy aura with the eye of heaven as the center spread across heaven and earth. Roar. Woo. Sii. The howls of beasts came from 1,000 miles away. This was especially so for the mysterious canyon. Many demonic beast hordes nearby charged at the three sex teams. Boom! The ground shook and dust covered the sky. Countless demonic beasts of all sizes covered the sky and covered the earth. So many. Yi Yin Yu and company woke up from their stupor and couldn't help but exclaim as they looked at the dust. Within their vision, hundreds and thousands of beasts charged toward the group without fear of death. Fight! The hearts of Yi Yin Yu and the others shuddered as they unleashed all kinds of secret arts to kill the endless beast horde. Pong! Many of the beasts were injured or killed. Even when they got close, they were blocked by the green sky water border and couldn't threaten the group. Elder Shui Yun found that most of the beasts that were being controlled were in groups, and some had even charged into the ghost corpse cursed array. It was obvious. These beasts became nourishment for the ghost corpse cursed array, causing its power to increase dramatically. The dark smoke of the ghost corpse cursed array became thicker, and a blood-colored flame started to rise. In particular, the invisible power of the curse had even faintly seeped into the azure sky water boundary. At the same time, flashes of golden light appeared in the air along with the screeching of birds. That's... Elder Shui Yun's eyes narrowed as shock appeared on her face for the first time. In the sky, several thousand golden lightning birds formed a super flock that surged over from the distance. The weakest of these golden lightning birds were at the sixth sky of the Ascended Realm. Those at the True Spirit Realm were the main force, and there were dozens of True Lord ranks as well. Among the many Thunderbirds, there was a supremacy-level Monster King with a terrifying aura that stirred up the heaven-earth essence chi. The Monster King was a giant golden feathered thunderbird that was more than 40 to 50 zhang in length. It was like a small mountain, and wherever it passed, it left a huge shadow. A venerable level demonic beast tribe leader. The hearts of Yi Yin Yu and the others shook. They could feel the sky filled with lightning and ear-piercing screeches. Their blood and chi surged. What's going on? That Zhao Feng can control such a large beast horde? How did he control so many beasts at once? The experts of the three sects were flabbergasted. There were thousands of golden lightning birds in the image. Apart from the sovereign golden lightning bird king, there were dozens of true lord rank golden lightning birds and several hundred at the true spirit realm. Chio! The golden thunderbirds shuttled through the sky, and golden arcs of lightning that were as thin as needles and threads slashed down. Boom! The azure sky water border that protected the three sects teams rippled and dimmed bit by bit. Rumble! An enormous wave of lightning that shook the world burst forth from the body of the golden feathered Thunderbird King. That was the attack of a sovereign. The skeletal division leader's heart shook. The battle power of the golden feathered lightning bird king was even stronger than it was at its peak. Boom! Wong! The green sky water border shook as wisps of lightning seeped in and numbed the bodies of the three sections. How did Zhao Feng control such a large beast horde and the other beasts in the canyon? The skeletal division leader's heart shook. Of course, he didn't forget to attack. The Ghost Corpse Curse Array absorbed a massive amount of monster beast blood, essence, and souls, causing its strength to rise dramatically. Combined with the flock of golden thunderbirds in the sky, it finally began to suppress the blue sky water boundary. At this moment in time, the situation had reversed. The eye of heaven controlled the flying beasts that covered half the sky. Oomph. The king of a beast horde can order the entire horde. In the sky, the eye of heaven looked down at the ground with a cold and mocking expression. So, Zhao Feng's control this time was focused on the king of the beasts. The largest was the golden-feathered lightning bird flock, a peak beast flock in the purple Saint ruins. The king of this group of beasts was the venerable level golden-feathered thunderbird king. With Zhao Feng's current eye bloodline power and the wood's spirit essence soul, he could easily control the golden lightning bird king with the eye of heaven. The reason why he chose this horde was because of their agility and long-range attacks. Such a terrifying beast horde could destroy any force under a one-star sect and sweep across a large country or several strong countries in the Azure Flower continent. Boom! The golden lightning bird king attacked a few more times, and the ghost corpse cursed array's pressure caused the green sky water border to dim by more than half, and cracks appeared on its surface. Prepare to retreat. Elder Shui Yun's face went pale white as she gritted her teeth and ordered. At this moment, she couldn't control the green sky water border anymore. Chapter 547. Prepare to retreat. Facing the golden lightning birds and countless arcs of lightning, Elder Shui Yun couldn't remain calm anymore. The azure sky water border that enveloped the three sects teams was in danger and could shatter at any moment. Although Elder Shui Yun was powerful and had a tattered earth-grade weapon, there was a limit to her power when facing the sovereign-level demonic beast's human wave tactic. On top of that, the skeletal division leader's ghost corpse cursed array was slowly compressing the green sky water border, and the power of the curse had already seeped into the bodies of the experts. Hee, you want to run? Do you think it'll be that easy? The eye of heaven faintly smiled as it looked down from high in the clouds. Zhao Feng controlled the kings of the beast horde to affect the entire beast horde. His main focus was obviously the lightning bird horde. Whoosh! Thousands of thunderbirds stood in the sky within a radius of 5 to 6 kilometers, launching long-range lightning strikes to wear down the green sky water border. The golden-feathered Thunderbird King's lightning attacks were powerful and overbearing. Every time it attacked, it caused the azure sky water boundary to shake. This was only because Master Shui Yun had a strong cultivation technique and a broken earth-grade weapon, the green sky water meteoric pearl, or else she wouldn't be able to last for long. Yin Yu, lead the group and break out. I'll cover you. Elder Shui Yun's hand released a bright blue light. Wang, the dark green water pearl in front of her burst out a layer of enormous water ripples that swept across the area within a radius of several miles. In that instant, everything within several miles was covered in a layer of blue light, and it was as if one was in a bottomless ocean. Whoosh! The first to bear the brunt of the attack was the ghost corpse curse formation. Half of the thick gray smoke had been dispersed, and the flames were dimming. Furthermore, its power was still declining. Boom! The lightning birds in the sky and the demonic beasts nearby were all reduced to a bloody mess. The vast power that swept through everything caused the void in the nearby area to tremble and become unstable. A broken earth-grade weapon can unleash such terrifying power in the hands of a sovereign. The eye of heaven on the top of the clouds seemed to be wary. Shui Yun's attack just then was enough to destroy the entire Broken Moon clan, and there wouldn't be a single person left alive, destroying a small sect with one move. How could a human compete with this kind of power? Not far away, the towering tree demon howled miserably as it suffered a heavy blow. Even though Zhao Feng had deliberately kept a distance from the thunderbirds in the sky, there were still over 1,000 casualties. Elder Shui Yun's pale face turned red after unleashing that peerless attack. However, in such a critical moment, she did not hesitate at all. Die, you beast! Elder Shui Yun unleashed a wave of water that killed all the beasts within half a mile and charged towards the golden-feathered lightning bird king. Their target was the demonic beast king. If you want to fight, then fight. Zhao Feng used his full strength to control the golden lightning bird king and unleashed its agility and lightning talent to fight with Elder Shui Yun in the clouds. Kill. The other experts of the three sects, led by Yi Yin Yu, forced themselves to break through the encirclement. Luckily, most of Zhao Feng's attention was on controlling the golden lightning bird king to fight Elder Shui Yun. In the sky, the battle between Elder Shui Yun and the golden lightning bird king shook heaven and earth, and the shockwaves swept across 10 miles. Because the gap was too small, Zhao Feng brought the battle to the outer edge of the mysterious canyon. Elder Shui Yun could only be led by the nose. If she didn't stall the golden lightning bird king and the other beasts, the others would probably be unable to break through. This woman's strength is monstrous. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and let the ghost corpse cursed array absorb the blood, flesh, and souls of the beasts around it, then attacked Elder Shui Yun from below. This was equivalent to Elder Shui Yun had to deal with 2 sovereigns and 2,000 beasts in a short amount of time. On the towering mountain, the experts of the three sects all held their breaths. The battle in front of them was too shocking. Even someone as strong as Elder Shui Yun was in danger. Skeletal Division leader, go and kill the others. Zhao Feng's voice sounded. Okay. The Skeletal Division leader put away the ghost corpse cursed array and turned into a blurry mist as it charged toward Yi Yin Yu and company. Zhao Feng split some of his attention to control the lightning birds and beasts on the ground to stop Yi Yin Yu and company from escaping. Shameless brat. Elder Shui Yun's face was filled with coldness as she looked at the eye of heaven. In order to cover the escape of the group, she had to use her Earth-grade weapon and large-scale techniques, which expended a lot of energy. At this moment in time, Elder Shui Yun was expending a large amount of Yuan Qi every second. However, Zhao Feng controlled the Golden Lightning Bird King to move around and didn't fight her head-on. Instead, he sent the Skeletal Division leader to kill the others. Ark! A cry sounded from afar. The first casualty of the group finally appeared. A peak True Lord rank had fallen. Even though the fallen True Lord rank was stronger than Tianmo, he died a horrible death. Zhizhi. The Skeletal Division leader waved the black flag and the gold and silver whip as it chased after the group. Earlier, the cursed power of the Grand Ghost Corpse formation had already corroded them, draining their blood chi and leaving them with hidden injuries. At this moment, the Skeletal Division leader and the lightning birds in the sky had an obvious advantage. Water Spirit Divine Change. A cold light appeared on Elder Shui Yun's pale face. D. A layer of deep blue light condensed around Elder Shui Yun's body, giving off a weird twisting feeling. Unbelievably, it was as if her attractive figure had merged with the azure glow, causing ripples to appear in the air as if it was in liquid form. Chill. The golden lightning that filled the sky struck Elder Shui Yun's body, but it was as if they had struck a liquid ethereal spirit. There was no force behind it. What kind of secret technique is this? Zhao Feng's heart jumped. He didn't know what kind of secret technique Elder Shui Yun had used, but her body seemed to turn into liquid and become one with the blue light. On top of that, Elder Shui Yun's water blue body suddenly grew by a few meters. She was like a goddess of water, and her every action seemed to contain the power to topple mountains. In that state, Elder Shui Yun's defense and battle power were multiplied by several times. Whoosh! A flood of blue light spread out with Elder Shui Yun at the center and swept over a dozen miles. Instantly, the Thunderbirds nearby suffered heavy casualties. Hundreds of them died at every moment. The golden-winged lightning bird king howled in pain, and this was even after Zhao Feng used its agility to its advantage. Bastard die! Elder Shui Yun was like a god condensed from blue water as she unleashed waves of water, summoning the boundless power of nature. The golden lightning bird king only lasted for a few breaths before it was slain by Elder Shui Yun. At this moment, More than half of the surrounding Thunderbirds were dead or injured. After the monster Beast King fell, the horde of beasts scattered in all directions without anyone to command them. Who? Elder Shui Yun let out a breath, and her body started to slowly condense. After returning to her original form, Elder Shui Yun's face was as white as paper, and she felt powerless. Obviously, even though using a secret technique like water spirit transformation had a nearly invincible defense, the price to pay for it was also extremely great. Furthermore, Elder Shui Yun had expended a lot of energy before this. Wind, lightning, eye flame. The eye of heaven on top of the clouds flashed with traces of purple flames. Boom! A dragon-shaped whirlwind of translucent purple azure wind, lightning flame, gave off a destructive aura as it slammed into the feeble Elder Shui Yun, who had just recovered her physical form. Not good, the experts of the three sects exclaimed in the outside world. In the image, the terrifying wind lightning eye flame instantly engulfed Elder Shui Yun. Bam! Elder Shui Yun's body fell from the sky and smashed into the mountain. Wisps of purple fire and wind surrounded the ground, forming a 100-yard-wide pit. That wind lightning eye flame had reached its peak. That wind lightning eye flame probably has the power to kill normal sovereigns. The skeletal division leader's heart shook. At this moment, whether it was Yin Yu and the others who were escaping or the experts of the three sects who were watching the battle from the outside, they all fell into a momentary silence. Elder Shui Yun, Yin Yu and company's hearts shook as they looked at the large hole. Bo! A wisp of blue water started to appear in the hole. Soon after, a delicate, charred, and blurry figure holding a dark blue water droplet flew out of the pit. That person, the people from the other parties were stunned, was that Elder Shui Yun, who was emitting black smoke and had no clothes covering her body, the holy and dignified Elder Shui Yun in his heart. Retreat, retreat. Elder Shui Yun barely spat out 2 words as a layer of blue water surrounded her body. The scorched marks on her body started to slowly heal, and a sliver of color could be seen. A while later, the weak-looking Elder Shui Yun caught up to Yi Yin Yu and company. The majority of her body started to recover, but her face was still unsightly. Let's find a place to hide in the ruins. Elder Shui Yun's body was on the verge of collapsing, but she tried her best to hold on. She even used a wave of blue water to heal the others. At this moment, over half of Elder Shui Yun's group had died. Zhao Feng used the Eye of Heaven to control the nearby beasts and work with the skeletal division leader to chase after Elder Shui Yun. Zhe, bitch, when I catch you, I'll make you taste all kinds of humiliation. The skeletal division leader was smug as it chased after Elder Shui Yun. If this continued, Elder Shui Yun's group would most likely be wiped out. This was because Elder Shui Yun's body and mind were both injured, and her battle power was at its weakest. Right at this moment, a voice sounded in the soul dimension. Skeletal division leader, it's over. Shua, the Eye of Heaven in the air suddenly disappeared. Zhao Feng, victory is in sight. I'm still waiting to capture that bitch alive. The skeletal division leader said unwillingly, thinking about how it had been completely crushed by Elder Shui Yun. It was obviously unhappy that it was about to take revenge. However, the skeletal division leader grumbled, but it didn't go against Zhao Feng's orders. He knew that Zhao Feng's control over the situation with his Eye of Heaven wasn't something he could compare to. Chapter 548. A while later, the skeletal division leader returned to where the towering tree Yao was. On the branch, Zhao Feng sat cross-legged with a pale face. Sweat could be seen on his forehead. Over half of his eye bloodline power had been used up. Even the towering tree demon beneath him looked dispirited and listless. This scene made the skeletal division leader understand. At the same time, its heart jumped. This was the weakest Zhao Feng had been since he entered the Purple Saint ruins. In the previous battle, Zhao Feng had used up too much of his eye bloodline power to push Elder Shui Yun's group into despair. If this continued, he would have been completely drained like Elder Shui Yun. Master, if we had put in a bit more effort just then, we could have annihilated this group. The skeletal division leader said regretfully. Zhao Feng had held back and didn't let himself be completely drained, so the skeletal division leader had almost no chance of winning. Skeletal division leader, I didn't chase after them because I was worried about you. Even if I'm completely drained, you won't have any chance. Zhao Feng glanced at the skeletal division leader. The skeletal division leader's heart jumped. It couldn't hide any of its thoughts from Zhao Feng. Master, you mean? The skeletal division leader asked carefully. After teaming up with the towering tree Yao, Zhao Feng's power was almost heaven-defying. His eye of heaven could control any beast horde. If we don't care about the price and annihilate this group, we'll have to pay an even greater price. Zhao Feng looked into the sky. At this moment, in the outside world, the expressions of the experts from the three sects became solemn. In the scryer image, Zhao Feng seemed to be staring at them. It's all thanks to Elder Shui Yun, who specializes in healing and defense. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have been wiped out already. No matter what, she managed to survive in the ruins. The experts from the three sects discussed in a low tone. Elder Shui Yun was calm and composed. Although she had lost, they still admired her for being able to do this. After all, the opponents the three sects were facing were monstrous existences. When the Void Cave stabilizes the next time, we'll send a powerful combat team. We should be able to turn the situation around. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's face was calm. However, the situation in the Purple Saint ruins caused the expressions of the three sects to become solemn. In the following days, Zhao Feng didn't tell the skeletal division leader to chase after Elder Shui Yun and the others. Instead, he focused on setting up a repairing array and an energy-gathering array. The skeletal division leader's main mission was to craft the Ghost Corpse Curse. Zhao Yufei was in charge of the repair of the spatial holes and the construction of some formations. 3 days. Zhao Feng had his back to the towering tree Yao, so his soul and eye bloodline power recovered extremely quickly. During this time, he also controlled some demonic beasts to do some manual labor. In these 3 days, the group led by Elder Shui Yun was still recovering from their injuries. This was especially so for Elder Shui Yun. She was too heavily injured, and even though she was skilled in healing and had great recovery abilities, she wouldn't be able to recover in a short period of time. On top of that, the other members of the group were being corroded by the Ghost Corpse Curse, and Elder Shui Yun had to use her Yuan Qi to help them dissolve the curse. This was only because Elder Shui Yun was a famous healer of the three sections. If it were a normal sovereign, they wouldn't be able to dissolve the curse. Elder Shui Yun had expended a lot of energy to dissolve the curse. However, she couldn't just watch them die, or else more than half of the other members of the group would die. Furthermore, during the healing process, Elder Shui Yun felt uneasy. It was as if there was an eye coldly watching her every move. This feeling was like a needle piercing into her back. Finally, on the 4th day, the group of the three sects faced danger. There were 4 or 5 demon beast hordes nearby, surrounding the valley where everyone was recuperating. Under the onslaught of hundreds and thousands of beasts, the valley was soon flattened. The beast hordes were all led by Yao kings at the half-step true spirit realm, and they mainly harassed the group. Elder Shui Yun's group hadn't recovered yet, so they had to participate. A few days later, this happened several times a day. The group of the three sects couldn't rest in peace. The ambushes of the beasts were extremely intelligent and didn't follow common sense. Some of the beasts had unique abilities. For example, some beasts could drill out of the ground during battle. Some of them had the ability to hide themselves or specialize in mental energy techniques and could release a deadly poison. After all, the Purple Saint ruins had been preserved in its ancient state, and there were countless beasts with weird abilities. On the 5th day, the group of the three sects finally had casualties. Elder Shui Yun was doing her best to protect the group and heal the other members during the battle, so she was completely exhausted. Zhao Feng's ambush and harassment tactics were extremely cunning. He didn't target Elder Shui Yun, but the other experts in the group. Elder Shui Yun's mentality and strength were impenetrable. Zhao Feng admired this. However, his target was the other members of the three sects who had weaknesses. This way, Elder Shui Yun couldn't even focus on healing herself, let alone counterattack Zhao Feng. Time passed. Casualties in the teams of the three sects occurred almost every day. Later on, when the three sects fought, the Eye of Heaven would appear and ambush them without any resistance. Wind Lightning Eye Flame, Azure Eye Sharp Slash, Illusion City Maze. Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven would come and take a life when it was free and force the group into danger. Until the 10th day, the members of the three sects died one by one. Finally, only Elder Shui Yun, Yi Yin Yu, and another half-step origin core realm remained. The group that had started out with around 20 people now only had 3 people left. This Zhao Feng, he's been thinking of ways to torture us. Yi Yin Yu and company had been tortured. They hadn't had any peace in the past few days, and they were always on guard. Only 3 remained. Elder Shui Yun had only recovered 50% of her Yuan Qi, and Yi Yin Yu and the other half-step origin core realm weren't much stronger. In the outside world, on a mountain, the expressions of the 3 kings became solemn. If he tried his best, Zhao Feng would have had the ability to kill Elder Shui Yun's group. However, he didn't do it. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said solemnly. It wasn't hard to see. Most of Zhao Feng's energy was used to stabilize the 3 holes. On the surface, it seemed like Elder Shui Yun and company were being tortured by Zhao Feng. However, in reality, this was just Zhao Feng spending a bit of energy on Elder Shui Yun's group. On average, they would only come 2 or 3 times a day, so it didn't use much energy on Zhao Feng. Kings, the spatial holes in the Purple Saint ruins are becoming smaller and smaller, and the major holes are stabilizing. Stabilizing the spatial meridians will become more and more difficult. A piece of bad news came from Grandmaster Yin Kong. The expressions of the 3 Void God Realm Kings changed slightly. How many more times can we send them? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess asked. At least once, and at most twice. If this continues, there won't be much of a chance for us to send them a 3rd time. Grandmaster Yin Kong sighed. He gazed at the scene in the image and sighed in his heart. Zhao Feng's control of the situation wasn't just strong. He didn't care about winning or losing right now. He just wanted to destroy Elder Shui Yun's group. Zhao Feng's focus was on repairing the holes, but he would spend some of his time to delay the recovery of Elder Shui Yun's group. Wang, the image in the sky above the mountain, started to become blurry and unstable. What's going on? The image is blurry. The experts of the 3 sects exclaimed. At this moment in time, within the ruins, the repair of the 3 major holes was starting to show results. Brother Zhao Feng, the hole in the mysterious canyon has been repaired 60 to 70%, and the other 2 have been repaired 80 to 90%. We're also looking for and repairing some other obvious areas of weakness. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded. The reason why the mysterious canyon had only been repaired 60 to 70% was because the power of the 3 Void God Realm Kings and the battle between sovereigns had taken place here. Therefore, even though this area was being repaired the most, the progress was the slowest. Looks like the next group from the 3 2-star sects will come from here. Zhao Feng slowly closed his eyes. Over the past few days, he continued to comprehend while he was recovering. After his mental energy had touched the level of the origin core realm, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the purple wind lightning had increased. Furthermore, the water spirit divine change that Elder Shui Yun had used that day had been seen through by Zhao Feng's God's spiritual eye. The water spirit divine change uses a unique water bloodline to liquefy the body. Although this technique seems incredible, 80% of the human body is made up of water yuan particles. Zhao Feng started to comprehend. He had copied the theory behind Elder Shui Yun's secret technique through his God's spiritual eye. And now, what Zhao Feng needed to do was to comprehend and copy the bloodline skill onto his own body. Because he also had a water bloodline and the eye of water, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the water spirit divine change was extremely fast. In order to prevent others from spying on him, Zhao Feng hid within the branches of the towering tree Yao. Time passed by quickly. Half a month had passed since Shui Yun's group had entered the ruins. In this half a month, Zhao Feng's comprehension of the purple wind lightning had increased by 1/5. His mental energy level had also reached the core of the origin core realm. After all, Zhao Feng had fused with the towering tree Yao for a long time and had fought with sovereigns multiple times. Apart from my true force cultivation, which is close to the peak true lord rank, there's no difference between me and normal sovereigns. In some aspects, I even have an advantage. Zhao Feng felt that his strength had increased greatly. During this time, the 100 Ghost Corpse plan had reached 38% completion. There were now 38 cursed ghost corpses in the 10,000 ghost cursed array, which increased its power. On this day, a strong spatial disturbance came from the center of the mysterious canyon. Wang, a silver hole appeared in the center of the canyon. Zhao Feng, watch out. The second group of the 3 sects will enter the Purple Saint space through the hole. The Purple Saint partial spirit warned. Shwa shwa shwa. More than a dozen powerful auras shot out from the hole. The leader was a slightly fat youth whose cultivation had reached the origin core realm. His aura was even more terrifying than normal sovereigns. It was Lu Qianni. Chapter 549. Lu Qianni's group had 1 origin core realm, 3 half-step origin core realms, and 10 peak true lord ranks. Overall, it was smaller than the group from last time. From this, one could see that Zhao Feng's repair of the hole in the dimension was effective. However, the auras of the experts from the 3 sects surpassed those of the same cultivation. Zhao Feng, come out and die. Lu Qianni's voice was sharp, and his eyes were like the golden moon in the night, with a cold, killing intent that could pierce one's heart. As soon as he appeared, Lu Qianni's eyes locked on Zhao Feng. The members of the team behind him were all filled with fighting spirit. Their gazes were cold and sharp as they gathered their strength. It was obvious. This was a standard combat team, and it was led by Lu Qianni, a newly advanced venerable who loved to fight. One thing was worth mentioning. There was a beautiful girl in the group with a dark crescent moon mark on her forehead. Her purple hair blew in the wind, and she was like a fairy. This woman was sexy and graceful. Her every frown and every smile was filled with a fatal charm. She was like a lotus in a valley that bloomed with a mysterious beauty. Mysterious, weird and weird. She was Zhuang Wan of the Moon Demon Palace. She had entered the 2nd floor of the Treasure Palace, just like Zhao Feng, and obtained a powerful inheritance. Lu Qianni, we can meet up with Elder Shui Yun first and come up with a plan. Zhuang Wan took out a special jade pendant and inserted a wisp of qi of true spirit. However, Lu Qianni didn't bother with her. His golden eyes were filled with killing intent as he locked on Zhao Feng. When enemies met, their eyes would turn red. Thinking back in the Purple Saint ruins, Lu Qianni used his overwhelming battle power to force Zhao Feng and the towering tree Yao back. But in the end, he still lost to Zhao Feng. Lu Qianni remembered the pain of being stuck in his throat by the mutated scorpion. Relax, Lu Qianni said in a deep tone. I have a powerful killing move, and under normal circumstances, I can easily kill this brat. After saying this, his body radiated a powerful yuan qi, and it was as if he was the center of heaven and earth. Many people in the team behind him licked their lips. A great battle was about to break out at any moment. Under such circumstances, Zhao Feng and the towering tree demon under his feet felt extremely pressured. What a powerful aura! The skeletal division leader's heart shook. He expected that the second group of people from the 3 sects had already arrived. Since the 3 sects have come to visit, how can I not give you some gifts? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the spot, unafraid. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Feng's god spiritual eyes suddenly contracted as a mysterious mental energy power entered the ground. Boom! The ground beneath the feet of Lu Tian's team violently quaked, as a terrifying sound that could split mountains and split the earth resounded. Crack! In the center of the canyon, the earth split open, and a thick and powerful ancient aura came from the crack. Not good. The group from the three sects couldn't even stand properly. Their powerful auras created a strong wind pressure that made it hard for everyone to breathe. Even someone as strong as Lu Tianyi felt his heart tighten and his body sink. Everyone, watch out! There's probably a sovereign-level beast hiding underground. Zhuangwaner exclaimed and instinctively leapt into the air. Woo! A majestic and heavy roar came from the huge crack. Boom! Then, a terrifying pulling force as heavy as Mount Tai came from the crack in the ground. No! Arg! The members of the three sects panicked. Bam! 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 In the blink of an eye, half of the team was pulled into the crevice by the powerful gravity. Miserable screams rang out one after another. Wah! Wah! A few of the stronger members barely managed to block the pull, but their bodies felt as if they were being smashed by a 1,000,000-kilogram mountain, and they all spat out blood. Apart from Lu Tianyi, the survivors were all heavily injured. Zhuangwaner's injuries weren't as serious, but she still spat out a mouthful of blood. That's... Everyone stared at the crack in shock. Woo! From the crack, a stone vein giant that was 30 meters long crawled out. Its entire body was made of brownish-yellow crystals. This stone giant seemed to be from an ancient race, and its cultivation had reached the origin core realm. Its pressure alone was enough to kill more than half of the three sects group. Hee guests, what do you think of this greeting gift? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the branch with a faint smile. He had already predicted that the next group would be sent here. How could he not have made any preparations? The outside world might be able to see what he was doing. However, this stone giant was hidden underground, and the outside world wouldn't be able to detect it. Caught off guard, Lu Tianyi's group was dealt a heavy blow the moment they appeared. In the outside world, on top of the mountain, the expressions of the three martial monarchs changed dramatically. This second group was supposed to be the key to turning the situation around. However, before the battle even started, over half of Lu Tianyi's group had been killed. Apart from Lu Tianyi and Zhuangwan, everyone else was heavily injured and their battle power dropped. Kill! Zhao Feng spat out a single word as he merged his eye bloodline power with the wood spirit essence soul and controlled the stone giant to charge toward Lu Tianyi's group. Roar! The stone giant roared, and an invisible force shook the air. It waved its fists, and large crystalline figures with power even stronger than the physical mountain instantly swept toward Lu Tianyi's group. Wah! Pung! Before the attack even arrived, one or two more people's bones were shattered by an invisible force, and they died. Fuck off! Liu Tianyi shouted loudly, fiercely waving a single hand. Layers upon layers of golden moon wavy blades piled up to form a golden moon ocean that covered the sky and covered the earth. The piercingly cold and beautiful golden waves of light shone and illuminated a radius of more than 10 li. Ding ding ding. The stone giant, who bore the brunt of the attack, was cut and devoured by the countless golden moon wavy blades, sparks flying off its body. Zhao Feng and the towering tree Yao both felt the shockwave. The golden moon ocean was made up of countless sharp golden moon blades, and they were powerful enough to devour everything. Bo! A layer of water appeared on Zhao Feng's body and absorbed the power of the golden moon blades. The towering tree Yao under his feet had countless cracks on its branches, and it could be said to be riddled with holes. This was just a shockwave from Lu Tianyi's attack. Luckily, the stone giant's defense is extremely strong. It's similar to Shi Chengtian's bloodline, but it's even purer. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. Lu Tianyi was indeed worthy of being one of the top combat geniuses of the three sections. His destructive style was completely different from Elder Shui Yun's. Clang! Boom! At the center of the Golden Moon Ocean, Lu Tianyi and the stone giant clashed several times, causing the heaven-earth Yuan Qi to boil. Arg! Screams came from the three sects group once more. Zhao Feng purposely guided the stone giant to use gravity to lock the other members in place. In just a breath or two, in Lu Tianyi's team, Only Lu Tianyi and Zhuang Wan'er were left. The others had all died. The situation was dire for the three sections. Zhuang Wan'er, go meet up with Elder Shui Yun. I will definitely take revenge for what happened back then. Lu Tianyi waved his hand and pushed Zhuang a mile away. Lu Tianyi's eyes turned bloodshot as he drove his bloodline and executed a powerful battle technique. His battle prowess skyrocketed, and the rock giant was forced to retreat again and again. This Lu Tianyi's strength is terrifying. Normal sovereigns from the Azure Flower continent probably won't even be able to block a few moves from him. Zhao Feng couldn't help but click his tongue. Back then, he hadn't truly fought with Lu Tianyi. Instead, he had used the little thieving cat to throw the mutated scorpion into Lu Tianyi's body. At this moment, Lu Tianyi's battle power rose. Even the stone giant, with its ancient bloodline, wasn't able to block Lu Tianyi's attacks. Unfortunately, this stone giant has been asleep for too long. Its defense is strong, but it can only use 60 to 70% of its full battle power. Zhao Feng controlled the stone giant to retreat as he tried to lure Lu Tianyi away from the hole. Fortunately, the loophole in the mysterious canyon had been mostly repaired. It could basically withstand a battle between venerables. Master, I should be able to take down this brat. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded. Over the past few days, there have been 38 cursed ghost corpses. The power of the ghost corpse cursed array would definitely increase. There's no rush. Zhao Feng smiled and shook his head. After merging with the wood spirit essence soul, he didn't expend much energy to control the stone giant. This stone giant was the strongest existence in the mysterious canyon. Its strength was stronger than the towering tree Yao and the ancient scorpion. Zhao Feng had sensed its existence when he entered the ruins last time, but he didn't dare to touch it. This time, in order to block the second wave of danger from the three sects, Zhao Feng spent some time to control the stone giant underground. It could be said that apart from the purple Saint Partial Spirit, no one else knew this secret. Boom! The battle between Lu Tianyi and the stone giant wasn't decided in a short amount of time. In terms of battle power, Lu Tianyi had the advantage, but the stone giant's defense was too strong. It could take the attacks of normal sovereigns head-on. Lu Tianyi was too impulsive. It's not all his fault. Who would have thought that Zhao Feng would have prepared a stone giant of an ancient race underground? The experts of the three sects sighed in the outside world. If Lu Tianyi had chosen to retreat and meet up with Elder Shui Yun, the situation wouldn't be so bad. However, how could a genius like Lu Tianyi admit defeat so easily? Furthermore, his enemy was right in front of him. Mysterious Canyon. The battle had reached its climax. Although the stone giant wasn't able to win, it was still able to bite onto Lu Tianyi. After fighting for a long time, sweat started to appear on Lu Tianyi's forehead. After all, his battle power came from his bloodline power, so he couldn't maintain it for too long. Earth-grade weapon, Sky Tooth Wolf Moonblade. A sharp light flashed in Lu Tianyi's eyes as a devilish purple blade appeared in his hand. The handle was a wolf head, and the blade was shaped like a crescent moon. It was a complete Earth-grade weapon. The instant this blade appeared, Zhao Feng felt the Ice Imperial Spear in his body become excited. The forbidden power within the Ice Imperial Spear seemed to awaken. A complete Earth-grade weapon? Lu Tianyi, this is your trump card? Zhao Feng felt the power of the ancient Ice Imperial Spear seep out from the depths of the Ice Imperial Spear and flow through his ice and water bloodlines. Excitement appeared in his eyes. He didn't think that Lu Tianyi's Earth-grade weapon could awaken the mysterious power within the Ice Imperial Spear. Even his bloodline power had been stimulated to some extent. Chapter 550. This was the first time Zhao Feng had seen a complete Earth-grade weapon. In the Azure Flower continent where he was born, Earth-grade weapons ended a dynasty. Even in the world of sex, they were legendary existences. The Heavenly Teeth Wolf Moon Saber in Lu Tianyi's hand transformed into a terrifying shadow of a crimson-purple demonic wolf. dragging a dazzling saber light that was 2 to 3 miles long, shattering the endless yuan qi and causing the void to faintly tremble. The only thing left in heaven and earth was the scarlet-purple blade. The scarlet-purple demonic wolf at the head of the blade radiated a dominating aura of a Yao emperor. Under this blade, the sun and moon lost their color, and heaven and earth changed color. Within 1,000 miles of the Purple Saint ruins, countless beings knelt on the ground and worshipped out of instinct. Is this the true power of an earth-grade weapon? Zhao Feng sat cross-legged, creating a strong visual impact that made him feel like he was suffocating. This feeling was like a normal being facing the destruction of the earth. The power of a single person was so minuscule. A complete earth-grade weapon increases one's battle power by too much. In front of this blade, more than half of the sovereigns of the Azure Flower Continent will be killed. The Skeletal Division leader's heart trembled within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl. Only sovereigns could unleash their true power in the hands of sovereigns. The sovereigns of the Azure Flower Continent only had a few fragments of an earth-grade weapon and couldn't be compared to Lu Qianni. Furthermore, Lu Qianni came from a 2.5-star sect, and the techniques he cultivated surpassed normal sovereigns of the Azure Flower Continent. Bung! The dazzling saber aura dragged by the demon wolf phantom engulfed the stone vein giant. Get down! Zhao Feng controlled the stone giant to curl up into a ball to minimize the damage. However, even then, a fissure that was a few feet deep had been slashed open on the rock giant's body, and the surface of the rock giant's body was covered in fragmented marks and cracks. Bits of rock flew about, and it was a horrifying sight. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have lost half their life, even if they didn't die from this attack. However, the stone giant's defense was several times stronger than sovereigns of the same cultivation, which was why it didn't receive any fatal injuries. Heavenly Wolf killing Dragon Slash. The bloodline power in Lu Tianni's body was further stimulated. The Yuan Qi of Heaven Earth howled as the Sky-Tooth Wolf Moon Blade turned into 3 beams of golden light that slashed towards the stone giant. Dig into the ground. Zhao Feng's expression changed. The power of Lu Tianni's attack this time was virtually doubled compared to the previous time. Bang! Rumble! The stone giant's entire body shone with earth-colored radiance. Its body merged into the cracks in the ground, but it still suffered heavy blows. Everything within a 10-mile radius seemed to be affected by the destructive force. At that moment, the entire mysterious canyon began to reverberate with earth-shattering sounds. Oh! Within the cracks, the stone giant roared with all its strength. 2 to 3 deep and long gashes had appeared on its body, and its injuries were nearly fatal. The stone giant's eyes were locked onto Lu Tianni with hatred and madness. Whoosh, dust, and debris filled the sky, enveloping the entire region. The shocking wind howled, not stopping for a long time. Hee, very, very strong. While Zhao Feng was shocked, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. At this moment, he quietly let go of his control of the stone giant. The stone giant had suffered heavy blows and was covered in injuries. Even if it wanted to protect itself, it would still try its best to retaliate against Lu Qianni. Being completely engulfed in hatred and anger, it only had Lu Qianni in its eyes. It wanted to crush the latter's body. Roar! The stone giant's body shone with a brownish-yellow light and shot into the sky. Its body seemed to have become stronger, and it seemed to have activated some kind of bloodline power as it charged towards Lu Qianni. Die! Lu Qianni sneered and waved his earth-grade divine weapon, attacking the stone giant fiercely. Of course, he didn't notice that Zhao Feng had let go of his control of the stone giant. Lu Qianni only had one goal left. After killing the stone giant, he would be able to take Zhao Feng's head, and this goal was getting closer and closer. Within 3 to 5 moves, he would be able to kill the stone giant. Wonderful, wonderful. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged amongst the leaves, a layer of blue water surrounding his body that absorbed the shock waves of the attacks as much as possible. Even though the stone giant was in a life-and-death situation, he was still relaxed. From the looks of it, Zhao Feng wasn't worried about the danger that was about to arrive. Something's wrong. This Zhao Feng can't control an ancient race so easily. The experts of the three sects saw some clues. Damn it. Zhao Feng's already let go of the stone giant. The St. Moon Ant Goddess's expression changed. The expressions of everyone present changed. After so many battles, no one doubted Zhao Feng's threat. In the eyes of the three kings, Zhao Feng's threat was even greater than the skeletal division leader. It could be expected. What kind of threat would Zhao Feng pose when he didn't need to control the stone giant? Skywolf Fanstar. Lu Qianni brandished the heavenly teeth wolf moonblade, and the huge malevolent wolf head shadow released millions of bewitching purplish gold light spots, producing a catastrophic forbidden power. On the other hand, Lu Qianni had forced the stone giant to the brink of death. He licked his lips and felt excited. Being able to kill an ancient bloodline race gave him a greater sense of accomplishment than defeating an ordinary venerable one. Right at this moment, the situation changed. Shua! A translucent blue eye of nothingness appeared in the sky above Lu Qianni's head. Lu Qianni's heart jumped as he felt a faint mental energy pressure. At this moment, he was about to activate his inherited secret skill to kill the stone giant. Purple Destruction, Azure Eye-Piercing Slash. The eye of nothingness turned dark green, and a faint purple aura appeared. Shua! An enormous, translucent blade that was surrounded by tiny wisps of purple destruction wind lightning slashed toward Lu Qianni in an unpredictable trajectory. When the attack got close, Lu Qianni's soul trembled as he felt an aura of destruction. At this moment, his soul and bloodline were jumping, and the earth-grade weapon in his hand vibrated in warning. Not good. Under this kind of situation, Lu Qianni didn't have time to kill the stone giant. He barely managed to dodge and circulated the power of his core to protect himself. However, Lu Qianni's movements were still slightly slow. He had focused too much on killing the stone giant and didn't realize that Zhao Feng had let go of the stone giant. Shua! The purple destruction blade slashed across Lu Qianni's body and blood splattered. Arg! Lu Qianni screamed. Even though he tried to dodge, one of his arms was still sliced off by the wind blade of destruction. This scene dazed the experts of the three sections. Many people could see that Zhao Feng was free, but they didn't expect him to be so dangerous. The Eye of Heaven appeared out of nowhere and sliced off one of Sovereign Lu Qianni's arms. The Azure Eye Piercing Slash was based on the Heavenly Piercing Eye, and it was Zhao Feng's fastest eye bloodline technique. And this time, Zhao Feng's Azure Eye Piercing Slash contained the essence of the purple wind lightning and the intent of destruction. On top of that, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power was comparable to a sovereign, and his mental energy level had reached the core of the origin core realm. He had also merged with the wood spirit essence soul and was strengthened by the Eye of Heaven. Under these circumstances, Zhao Feng's Azure Eye Piercing Slash could almost instantly kill normal sovereigns. If it wasn't for the fact that Lu Qianni's talent and bloodline allowed him to dodge in time, this sneak attack would have taken his life. Lu Qianni's back was drenched in cold sweat, and he felt as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. He finally understood what the St. Moon Ant Goddess had told him before leaving. Tianni, although you have a powerful killing move, you can't underestimate the enemy. The biggest threat wasn't the sovereign skeleton, but the true Lord rank Zhao Feng. At this point in time, losing an arm meant that Lu Qianni's battle power would decrease. Furthermore, with a purple destruction, Azure Eye Piercing Slash hit, the aura of destruction would seep into his body and destroy his life force. Therefore, the injury he received wasn't as simple as having his arm cut off. At the same time, the stone giant below roared and launched a counterattack, the formless gravity slamming into Lu Qianni. Lu Qianni's figure flashed, and he waved his blade, facing a pincer attack. Above him was the Eye of Heaven, and below was the stone giant. What made Lu Qianni worried was the Eye of Heaven. Eye Soul Shooting Line. A translucent, dark blue cold rainbow descended from the sky, carrying with it the power of ice that could freeze all things as it enveloped and engulfed Lu Qianni. Lu Qianni was on guard, activating the battle prowess of his bloodline and wielding the power of his earth-grade divine weapon to protect himself. With a pu sound, he blocked this attack. However, Lu Qianni was fighting on two fronts. Enduring this attack, his body and mind froze, causing his movement speed to plummet. Shua! After failing its attack, the eye of heaven disappeared. Now that my comprehension of the purple destruction wind lightning has increased, I'll face an origin core realm head-on. Zhao Feng murmured to himself. Before he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. In the next instant, Wang, a pair of purplish azure wind lightning wings that were 20 feet in length, emitted an aura that could intimidate all living things. With a deafening roar, they soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the purple and azure wings of wind and lightning brought Zhao Feng above Lu Qianni's head. What? Lu Qianni was fighting with the stone giant when he felt the power of wind and lightning above him, which contained a destructive aura. He couldn't imagine that someone under the origin core realm could have such speed and aura. Purple destruction, wind, lightning whip. A whip of wind and lightning condensed in Zhao Feng's hand. It was like a snake of wind and lightning that was dozens of yards long and wrapped around Lu Qianni. Pa! Pa! Boom! Boom! The violet destruction tempest whip was filled with a destructive aura of wind and lightning, and as it coiled around the whip, wind and lightning would explode with shocking might. Shua! 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 Zhao Feng had the wings of wind and lightning on his back, which increased his speed and usage of wind lightning. In this state, Zhao Feng's mental energy level was comparable to a sovereign's. The threat Zhao Feng posed with just a wave of his hand had reached the level of a sovereign. Lu Qianni was sandwiched from top to bottom and was beaten until he roared in shock and anger. When did Zhao Feng's strength rise to such a level? That wisp of destructive wind and lightning profound meaning is enough to pose a great threat to venerables. Waves appeared in the skeletal division leader's heart. It was slowly recovering its strength and thought that the chances of it being able to fight back would increase, but Zhao Feng had already grown to such a level. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng roared as the wings of wind and lightning behind him flapped, and an illusory figure of an ice-blue spear appeared in his hand. Wang, that icy blue spear shadow turned from illusory to solid, slowly forming the outline of the earth-grade divine weapon. Chapter 551. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power, and the figure of the earth-grade weapon appeared in front of him. What was different from before? The figure of the earth-grade weapon started to condense and was about to reveal the true body of the Ice Imperial Spear. Bo! In the depths of Zhao Feng's bloodline, the Ice Imperial Spear that had turned into countless pieces quickly gathered together and reached Zhao Feng's palm. At a normal time, the Ice Imperial Spear had merged into Zhao Feng's bloodline, making it hard to sense its aura. And now, the Ice Imperial Spear's state was quickly reversed. Wang, the illusory earth-ranked divine armament, instantly transformed into a solid body, revealing a dark blue, crystal-like Emperor Ice Spear. Ice Imperial Spear, a complete earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng felt his bloodline power rise to a new level, and the power sleeping within the Ice Imperial Spear was awakened. This came from the earth-grade weapon in Yu Tianhao's hand. This was because the complete earth-grade weapon had awakened the Ice Imperial Spear that was sleeping in Zhao Feng's bloodline. Earth-grade weapon. You also have one. Lu Qianni's expression changed dramatically, and his body froze. The instant the Ice Imperial Spear appeared, a cold aura that could freeze everything in heaven and earth enveloped heaven and earth. The sky-toothed wolf moon blade in his hand trembled uneasily and gave off a low hum. Ice Imperial Spear. It's that earth-grade inheritance weapon? The three Void God Realm Kings stared at the Ice Imperial Spear in Zhao Feng's hand and exclaimed. With the knowledge of the three void God realm kings, they instantly recognized the origin of this spear. Mysterious Canyon. The two Earth-grade weapons hadn't even clashed yet, but their auras intertwined and clashed in the air. Ice Imperial Spear go. Zhao Feng felt his bloodline power and source of true spirit quickly disappear, and the Ice Imperial Spear in his hand was like a bottomless pit. Wang. Zhao Feng instinctively pushed the Ice Imperial Spear forward, and the Ice Imperial Spear glowed with a dark blue crystalline light as it pierced downwards. In an instant, everything in the surroundings was quickly frozen. With the Ice Imperial Spear as the center, a taboo, ancient cold aura surged downwards and spread for 5 miles. At that moment, be it Lu Qianni or the nearby towering tree demons, they were instantly frozen by a layer of frost and slowly turned stiff. Pucci. Lu Qianni's stiff body barely managed to wave the heavenly teeth wolf moonblade. The sinister scarlet-purple wolf head blade aura clashed with the ice lotus cold mist, producing a forbidden aura fluctuation. However, whether it was the flowers, grass, trees, or the saber radiance, they would freeze the moment they encountered the Ice Imperial Spear. Pack. With a flap of his purplish azure thunderlight wings, he disappeared from the spot. The next moment, Zhao Feng quickly moved 1,000 feet away to avoid the fluctuation of the forbidden aura. Wow! Although he had dodged in time, he was still hit and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face went white. Although my cultivation is high and my bloodline power isn't bad, it's still a bit difficult for me to use the Ice Imperial Spear with my cultivation at the True Lord rank. A layer of water appeared on Zhao Feng's body as he quickly recovered from his injuries. Below, Lu Qianni's situation was even worse. His body was covered in frost, and he had taken the pressure of 2 Earth-grade weapons head-on. His body swayed, and the blood at the corner of his mouth quickly solidified. Lu Qianni lost. In the outside world, the Golden Skeleton King sighed. The demonic Dao King, surrounded by black mist, also shook his head. After losing an arm and having the power of the purple destruction wind lightning enter his body, Lu Qianni was in a dangerous situation. Qianni was too rash. He didn't lose because of the difference in strength. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess sighed. She didn't refute what the two kings said, but she wasn't too worried. Lu Qianni, you've lost. The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back fluttered, and the Ice Imperial Spear in his hand was as deep as the ocean. Zhao Feng, bullying me with numbers and sneak attacking me from behind. So what if you win? Lu Qianni gritted his teeth and circulated his true yuan to suppress his injuries. Mockery appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he faced Lu Qianni's cursing. He didn't say anything, as if he didn't want to explain. Lu Qianni lost because of 3 reasons. Firstly, he was pincered by Zhao Feng and the Stone Giant. Until the end, Lu Qianni wasn't even fighting one-on-one with the Earth-ranked weapons. Secondly, Lu Qianni was careless and underestimated his opponent. Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven had cut off Lu Qianni's arm and reduced his battle power. Thirdly, the Ice Imperial Spear had the advantage. Although they were both Earth-grade weapons, Zhao Feng's Ice Imperial Spear was more unique and suppressed Lu Qianni's Earth-grade weapon. All these reasons led to Lu Qianni's loss. Lu Qianni, you lost. Could it be that the Stone Giant isn't a part of Zhao Feng's strength? Isn't strategizing a part of his strength? A woman's voice rang out in the air. This voice came from the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. You. Lu Qianni was speechless as his face went white and red. Indeed, the Stone Giant was controlled by Zhao Feng, and that was the power of his eye bloodline. Could it be that a beast tamer wasn't allowed to use a spiritual pet? Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven's attack had come at the perfect time. The Eye of Heaven could cross space and appear anywhere in the Purple Saint ruins. At the same time, this was a display of Zhao Feng's strength. None of this escaped the eyes of the owner of the Purple Saint ruins, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. It was because of this, seeing Lu Qianni curse Zhao Feng, even the Purple Saint Partial Spirit couldn't help but say a few words. Lu Qianni, I'm not your match in a head-on fight. Unfortunately, this isn't a competition, but a battle of life and death. Zhao Feng said emotionlessly. Lu Qianni's battle power was terrifying. Even if he teamed up with the skeletal division leader, they might not be his match. Furthermore, Zhao Feng's Ice Imperial Spear could only last for a short while. Retreat. Lu Qianni's face was filled with hatred and unwillingness as he turned into a streak of golden light and sped off into the distance. Although I'm heavily injured, as long as I find Elder Shui Yun, she'll be able to heal me in a short amount of time. Lu Qianni thought. He wasn't willing to lose this battle. He clearly had strong battle power, but lost to a true lord rank due to various reasons. You can take this. You want to run? The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back flapped, and he turned into a streak of lightning that chased after Lu Qianni. In terms of speed, Zhao Feng was slightly faster than Lu Qianni. After all, Zhao Feng's mental energy level had touched the core of Sovereign, and he had the wings of wind and lightning. On the other hand, Lu Qianni's condition was at its lowest, and he needed to suppress his injuries. Wind Lightning, Eye Flame. Azure Eye Piercing Slash. Zhao Feng used two powerful eye bloodline techniques to smash Lu Qianni into the ground. Qianni, hold on a little longer. Elder Shui Yun brought Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan over a dozen miles away. Too late. Zhao Feng even put away the Ice Imperial Spear. Lu Qianni was half kneeling on the ground. His injuries were fatal and his aura was weak. Under this situation, Zhao Feng didn't need to use his eye bloodline or the Ice Imperial Spear to kill Lu Qianni. Zhao Feng, you'll be the one to die. Lu Qianni gritted his teeth and took out a faint golden jade talisman. The instant the golden jade talisman appeared, it released a soul-suppressing aura. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. Void God Protection. Lu Qianni crushed the jade talisman in his hand, and the figure of a golden-robed king appeared behind him. Instantly, a vast and immeasurable godly force permeated the nearby space. At this moment, Zhao Feng, the skeletal division leader, and even Elder Shui Yun and company felt a strong pressure on their souls. Void God Protection? Lu Qianni still had this hidden card. That golden robe figure seems to be the strongest Void God Realm King of the pure moon spiritual sect, martial god Jin Huang. The experts of the three sects broke out into discussion. The golden skeleton and the demonic Dao King looked at each other in surprise. A faint smile appeared on the Saint Moon Ant Goddess's face. Although Lu Qianni was strong, he lacked experience. How could the Saint Moon Ant Goddess not know this? Even so, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess still agreed to let Lu Qianni lead the second group, so she obviously had something to rely on. A complete Earth-grade weapon was Lu Qianni's guarantee of strength. The Faux God Protection was Lu Qianni's life-saving talisman and his strongest trump card. This Void God Protection Jade Talisman is stronger than normal and can instantly kill sovereigns of the small Origin Core realm. Furthermore, that Zhao Feng only has the battle power to threaten sovereigns, but he's not a sovereign. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's smile deepened. Right at this moment, the situation suddenly changed. Jade Dragon Protection. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as a carved dragon jade talisman appeared in his hand. The jade talisman engraved on it shattered with a crack. An enormous, almost material, ancient azure dragon phantom surged out of it. Woo! The low roar of an ancient true dragon reverberated through the heavens and the earth. That huge, ancient true dragon phantom exuded a supreme power that surpassed the heavens and earth. What? The expressions of the experts of the three sects froze. The smile on the Saint Moon Ant Goddess face froze. That's a Void God Protection made from the blood essence of an ancient dragon. Once an ancient dragon matures, its battle power surpasses Void God Realm Kings of the same cultivation. Among the experts of the three sects, there was no lack of discerning people. Boom! The two powers clashed in the air, and the forbidden aura caused space to tremble. It wasn't an illusion. Shoo! In just half a breath, the figure of the ancient dragon had the clear advantage and quickly devoured the golden-robed figure. Not good. Lu Qianni's face was ashen. He didn't expect Zhao Feng to have a killing move similar to the Void God Protection, and it was even stronger than his own. Bam! Lu Qianni's figure quickly retreated and was sent flying several miles away. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Qianni. Elder Shui Yun flew over and covered Lu Qianni's body with a layer of blue water. Shua! Shua! Behind him, Yin Yu and Zhuangwan stood on Zhao Feng's left and right. Zhezhe, a layer of gray, ghostly mist spread in the air. 38 cursed ghost corpses and a creepy gold and silver skeleton appeared in the mist. Only at this moment did the skeletal division leader come out of the 10,000 ghost pearl. It couldn't help but sigh. Zhao Feng had killed the second group of the 3 sects by himself. Chapter 552. Purple Saint Ruins. The battle between Zhao Feng and Lu Qianni's group came to an end. Lu Qianni's eyes were unfocused, and his body was stiff. No one knew if he was alive or dead. Even if he wasn't completely dead, he wasn't far from it. In the entire Lu Tian's team, the only one who survived was Zhuangwan. In the outside world, the expressions of the experts on the mountain were solemn and filled with shock. Lu Qianni's battle power wasn't weak, and he had powerful life-saving trump cards, but he was completely suppressed by Zhao Feng from start to finish. In reality, this was the second time that Lu Qianni had lost to Zhao Feng. The last time was when he was in a life-and-death situation. Luckily, a Void God Realm King had saved his life. At this moment, the 3 Void God Realm Kings fell into a short silence. It was obvious that no one had expected the 3 sects' plan to infiltrate the Purple Saint Ruins to be ruined by a true Lord Rank Jr. Who, a thick dark mist condensed in the air and spread across a radius of 1 to 2 miles. The invisible power of the curse seeped into the air and corroded everything. Zhezhe. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and slowly approached Elder Shui Yun and company. Elder Shui Yun took out the green water meteorite pearl as she healed Lu Qianni. Wang, a rippling barrier of light blossomed with green light, once again forming the impenetrable defense of the green sky water barrier, blocking the power of the ghost corpse cursed formation. At the same time, Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan'er both took out a tattered earth-grade weapon, and their battle power was extremely close to a sovereign. Break! The two teamed up and destroyed the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. The combined battle power of the 2 girls was comparable to a sovereign. Even Lu Qianni at his peak could barely fight back. That bitch's injuries haven't healed yet. These 2 girls are even less of a threat. The skeletal division leader maintained the ghost corpse cursed array and waited for Zhao Feng's orders. The ghost corpse cursed array had 38 cursed ghost corpses that had been refined by countless beasts. With the skeletal division leader controlling it, it could suppress normal origin core realms. Be careful. The hearts of Elder Shui Yun and the others tensed up. This was especially so for Elder Shui Yun. On one hand, it was Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. On the other hand, Lu Tianni's injuries were more severe than she had imagined. Even she didn't have the confidence to cure him. On the other hand, Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan'er's faces were cold and resolute. Retreat. Zhao Feng was expressionless as he spat out a word. Bang! In the next instant, as the tempest wings flapped, Zhao Feng's figure vanished, leaving only a wisp of wind and lightning in the sky. Whoosh! The gray mist and the skeletal division leader disappeared at the same time. Gone! Elder Shui Yun and the others were startled and surprised. Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan'er looked at each other in confusion. Zhao Feng clearly had the advantage, so why didn't he chase after them? Who? Elder Shui Yun let out a long sigh of relief, with lingering fear in her heart. The blue-haired youth's strength had reached a level that made her wary. He could control Origin Core Realm beasts, had an Earth-grade inheritance weapon, had an Origin Core Realm slave, and had the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. The hardest to deal with was still his unfathomable bloodline. On the other side, Zhao Feng headed toward the mysterious canyon with the help of the wings of wind and lightning. Master, that girl's at the lowest point right now. If we don't act now, we'll probably lose this chance. If she can cure Lu Qianni. The skeletal division leader said unwillingly within the 10,000 ghost pearl. Now's not the best time to act. No one knows if the remaining 3 have any trump cards like the Void God Protection. Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan are both disciples of Void God realms. Zhao Feng shook his head. Hearing that, the skeletal division leader's heart shook. It had experienced the power of the Void God Protection before. Even at its peak, it could be killed in one hit by the Void God Protection. Even if it didn't die, it would still lose a layer of skin. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's Jade Dragon Protection had been used up twice. Even if one of the remaining 3 had a trump card like the Void God Protection, the battle would be extremely intense. As for Lu Qianni, his organs are broken, and his life force is almost gone. Even his soul is in deep sleep. Zhao Feng said, his god spiritual eye could see through Lu Tianni's body, and his understanding of his injuries was even clearer than Elder Shui Yun's. Then what should we do now? The skeletal division leader seemed to understand. One word, stall. Zhao Feng paused for a moment, and his eyes twinkled. The Purple Saint Ruins is our territory, and we can grow here. We can still grow here, but they won't be able to move. A while later, Zhao Feng returned to the mysterious canyon and started to heal the towering tree Yao. There were many treasures in the Purple Saint Ruins, and with the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's help, it wasn't hard for the towering tree Yao to recover. However, right now, Zhao Feng's main focus was on stabilizing the flaws in the ruins. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader quickly refined more cursed ghost corpses in order to complete the 100 corpse plan. In his free time, Zhao Feng would occasionally use his Eye of Heaven to harass Elder Shui Yun and company, making them unable to rest. In the blink of an eye, another half a month passed. In this half a month, the 100 corpse plan had finally reached 50% completion. On the other hand, Elder Shui Yun and company were harassed by Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven and were forced to hide in the ruins. Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan were in danger several times. If it wasn't for Elder Shui Yun, who was an impenetrable healer, the 2 teams from the 3 sects would have been killed long ago. Zhao Feng was slightly wary of Elder Shui Yun and had a headache. In his eyes, Elder Shui Yun was even harder to deal with than Lu Qianni. She had strong battle power, strong defense, and healing abilities. As long as Elder Shui Yun was here, no matter how heavily injured they would be able to recover in a short amount of time as long as they weren't instantly killed. In the last few days, although Lu Qianni hadn't woken up yet, his aura of life had recovered. Zhao Feng had to admit that he had underestimated Elder Shui Yun's healing abilities. Of course, this couldn't all be blamed on Zhao Feng. If he knew that Elder Shui Yun was a famous sovereign of the 3 sects, he wouldn't have underestimated her like this. Brother Zhao Feng, the 3 major flaws have mostly been repaired. The slowest one, the ancient canyon, has also been repaired by 90%. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded. Now, she was now half the owner of the Purple Saint Ruins and had a strong sense of control over the dimension. Zhao Feng, your control over the situation is indeed extraordinary. The next time the 3 sects try to open a spatial tunnel, the success rate will be less than 30%. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit praised. During the 2 invasions, Zhao Feng's focus was on repairing the flaws. After defeating the 3 sects twice, Zhao Feng didn't waste any time chasing after them. His vision was very long-term. The key was to stop the 3 sects from entering the ruins. 2 days later, Zhao Feng, who was sitting on the towering tree Yao, once again felt a ripple in space. However, that wisp of spatial fluctuation was different from before. It seeped in a little, but seemed to be lacking in strength. Because the holes in the ruins had been repaired, the space had become more solid, which made it harder to open a spatial tunnel. Good news. The 3 sects didn't succeed the 3rd time. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit brought news. This news made Zhao Yufei and the skeletal division leader let out a breath. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. The reason why he gave up chasing after the 3 sects time and time again was for this moment. Is this Zhao Feng's goal? The skeletal division leader thought back and couldn't help but admire Zhao Feng's vision. Zhao Feng didn't care about the result of the previous battle and gave up the chance to chase after the 3 sections. Until now, Zhao Feng's vision had finally been realized. He had blocked the 3 sects' spatial tunnels. As time passed, the chances of the 3 sects sending more people in would become smaller and smaller until it was almost zero. Even if Lu Tianyi recovers, he won't be a threat. They don't have any reinforcements, so we can just close the door and beat them. The smile on Zhao Feng's face became brighter. At this point, his battle with the 3 sects could be said to have come to an end. There wasn't much suspense left. Outside, on top of the mountain, Lord King, the 3rd attempt at opening the spatial tunnel has failed. Grandmaster Yin Kong sighed helplessly. However, he wasn't surprised at all. The 3rd spatial tunnel was extremely difficult, and the success rate was low. Failure was within his expectations. At this point in time, the experts of the 3 sects fell into a momentary silence. 3 void god realm kings unleashed 3 magnificent powers that suppressed heaven and earth. Some of the sovereigns present didn't dare to make a sound. Grandmaster Yin Kong, is there really no hope at all? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess broke the silence. As long as the purple Saint Partial Spirit isn't dead, there's little hope in the next 2 to 3 years. Of course, we can still send one more person in, but the failure rate is over 99%. Grandmaster Yin Kong said deeply. The mortality rate was over 99%. Everyone present couldn't help but shake their heads. Is there any way to lower the failure rate? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess didn't give up. Even if there was a sliver of hope, there was still a chance. She couldn't ignore the deaths of Lu Tianyi, Yi Yinyu, and company. Yi Yinyu was her personal disciple. Unless there's someone proficient in spatial techniques, and they have 60 to 70% chance of passing through the spatial tunnel and entering the Purple Saint ruins. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled faintly. Proficient in spatial techniques? The people on the mountain looked around, but they couldn't find a suitable candidate. Shua. Everyone's gazes soon landed on Grandmaster Yin Kong. The eyes of the 3 void god realm kings lit up. Grandmaster Yin Kong had a spatial eye bloodline and was one of the 4 array grandmasters of the Tianlu Islands. He was also a sovereign. No one doubted Grandmaster Yin Kong's strength and skill. Under everyone's gaze, Grandmaster Yin Kong remained calm and collected. Grandmaster Yin Kong, what conditions do you have? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said with deep meaning. I only have one condition. After this, I will have the final say on what to do with Zhao Feng. Chapter 553. 3 days later, within the Purple Saint ruins, Zhao Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes as he received a piece of bad news. Lu Tianyi has awakened. Zhao Feng murmured as his blue hair blew in the wind. He had already prepared himself that Lu Tianyi might awaken under Elder Shui Yun's treatment. However, he didn't expect Lu Tianyi to awaken so quickly. Lu Tianyi was strong in battle, while Elder Shui Yun specialized in defense and healing. If these two teamed up, even Zhao Feng and company would be wary of them since they had the advantage of the Purple Saint ruins. Shua. Zhao Feng used his Eye of Heaven and soon saw the situation of Lu Tianyi awakening under Elder Shui Yun's treatment. As if sensing something, Elder Shui Yun's hand released a layer of water that protected the area. Zhao Feng glanced over. Lu Tianyi was still extremely weak right now and didn't have much battle power left. His consciousness returned to the mysterious canyon, and Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. Elder Shui Yun's recovery speed is too strong. It won't be easy to defeat her. Furthermore, Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan teaming up are comparable to sovereigns. The first group was led by Elder Shui Yun in order to gain a foothold. Reality proved that. Elder Shui Yun's usefulness was extraordinary. If it was a normal sovereign, they would have been killed many times over by Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader. That's right. If Lu Qianni recovers to his peak, it'll be troublesome. Unless the 100 Corpse plan is completed. The Skeletal Division leader also participated in the discussion. The 100 Corpse plan was halfway done, and under the Skeletal Division leader's control, there shouldn't be any opponents at the small Origin Core realm. At the very least, it shouldn't be a problem for them to fight against Elder Shui Yun. The 100 Corpse plan will need at least 2 to 3 months to complete. Zhao Feng shook his head. Once the 100 Corpse plan was completed, it would be easy to kill sovereigns, but this process couldn't be completed in a short amount of time. There's one way. If we want to increase our battle power in a short amount of time, we need external help. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. External help? The purple Saint Partial Spirit came to a realization. Then, Zhao Yufei also understood. What external force? The Skeletal Division leader didn't react in time. Half a day later, at the center of the mysterious canyon, Buzz, the purple Saint Treasured Palace, descended from the sky amidst a layer of dreamy purple mist. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's figure flashed as he stepped into the purple Saint Treasure Palace. On the 3rd floor of the Treasure Palace. Senior Violet Saint, are there any Earth-ranked divine weapons that are suitable for him? Zhao Feng pointed at the Skeletal Division leader. Earth-rank divine weapon? Me? The Skeletal Division leader's jaw dropped, and it still hadn't recovered from its surprise. There are 3 ordinary Earth-ranked weapons. Let him pick one to try. The purple Saint Partial Spirit waved her hand. In an instant, 3 gloomy orbs of light floated in front of Zhang Xian, and each of them was an Earth-grade weapon. You mean, I can choose an Earth-ranked divine weapon? The Skeletal Division leader couldn't contain its excitement. Earth-ranked weapons were legendary weapons that could destroy heaven and earth in the Azure Flower Continent. One of the reasons why the Skeletal Division leader was suppressed in the Purple Saint Ruins was because it didn't have an Earth-grade weapon. If it had an Earth-grade weapon, the Skeletal Division leader's battle power would increase dramatically. A while later, the Skeletal Division leader chose one out of the 3 Earth-grade weapons. It was a dark silver bone spike that was coiled with violet-black baleful chi. It was around a meter long, sharp, and suffused with a cold glow that shook the soul. 9 deadly Een bone spike, Earth-grade weapon suitable for the Tao of Een ghosts. This bone can merge into one's bones and increase their strength and defense. When attacking, it contains a powerful aura that attacks the soul. The more living beings this bone spear kills, the stronger the baleful aura it contains. The purple Saint Partial Spirit explained the characteristics of this weapon. The Skeletal Division leader loved the 9 deadly Een bone spike after obtaining it. This Earth-grade weapon was indeed suitable for it. An hour later, the 9 deadly Een bone spike merged into the Skeletal Division leader's golden silver bones. The Skeletal Division leader's body became darker, and the aura it radiated was more than 50% stronger than normal. Ha ha ha! No wonder it's an Earth-grade weapon. Even if I don't use it normally, my battle power will increase dramatically. The Skeletal Division leader couldn't help but laugh in joy. Even 100 years of cultivation couldn't compare to this Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng nodded his head. For sovereigns at the Origin Core realm, an Earth-grade weapon could indeed increase their strength. 3 days later, the Skeletal Division leader had learned how to use the 9 deadly Een bone spike. The 9 deadly Een bone spike was extremely suitable for it. It was almost like it was made for him, so he didn't need to spend too much time on it. Let's go. We can't let Lu Qianni recover. Zhao Feng didn't wait any longer. On the same day, Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader found where Elder Shui Yun and company were recovering. Before the battle started, Zhao Feng used his god's spiritual eye to control the nearby beast to attack Elder Shui Yun and company. Boom! The cave that Elder Shui Yun and company were in was soon devoured by the demonic beasts and destroyed. Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. Zhao Feng waved the array flag, and a dark gray cloud covered a radius of 1 to 2 miles. This time, Zhao Feng personally controlled the ghost corpse cursed array, and the timing was perfect. Elder Shui Yun and company had just killed a group of beasts when they fell into Zhao Feng's ghost corpse cursed array. What was even more amazing was that the blood, essence, and souls of the dead beasts were absorbed by the ghost corpse cursed array, and its power increased dramatically. Woo! When the 50 cursed ghost corpses unleashed their aura of death and resentment, the terrifying power was enough to turn a half-step martial highness into a puddle of blood. Green sky water border. Elder Shui Yun took out her incomplete Earth-grade weapon, the green water meteorite pearl, and a barrier of green light formed a powerful defense. But now, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array wasn't the same as before, and some of the power of the curse still managed to enter. Within the green sky water border, Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan were both harumphed. They had incomplete Earth-grade weapons and were able to block it for a while. However, Lu Tiany's injuries hadn't healed yet, and he was extremely weak. His face became paler and paler. Earth-grade weapon, 9 deadly Een bone. The skeletal division leader used the power of the ghost corpse cursed array to push forward with one arm, and a bone spike dozens of yards long appeared. It was as if it came from hell and stabbed toward the green sky water border. Shwa! The green sky water border started to tremble and cracks started to appear. Woo! In an instant, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array and the 9 deadly Een bones surged in. The former corroded the body, continuously nibbling away at the soul essence of living beings, while the latter possessed extremely powerful offensive power. The terrifying 9 fiendish Een Chi could obliterate one's life force, directly attacking the soul. In just a few breaths' time, almost half of the green sky water border had dimmed. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, the others were all heavily injured. Hee, the effect is indeed different with the help of an Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng smiled. Although he had the Ice Imperial Spear, his cultivation wasn't at the origin core realm, so he couldn't keep it up. On the other hand, the skeletal division leader used its Earth-grade weapon, the 9 deadly Een bone, to complement the ghost corpse cursed array. Furthermore, the 50 cursed ghost corpses had absorbed a large amount of blood, essence, and souls, so the power they could unleash was quite impressive. Shoo! Shoo! A patch of purple-black, fiendish aura vibrated with the shadow of the bone spike, continuously piercing through the green sky water border. Every time it pierced, it would pierce a hole. Elder Shui Yun held on, and Lu Tiany and the other 2 were struggling as well. The skeletal division leader wanted to charge into the green sky water border several times, but it was stopped by Zhao Feng. This was because Zhao Feng was wary that the remaining people might have powerful trump cards similar to the Void God protection. The 2 of them were in the Ghost Corpse cursed array and had a strong defense. Even if they met a Void God protection, they would be able to block it and protect themselves. This Zhao Feng is so calm and cautious. Elder Shui Yun gritted her teeth. She also had some powerful secret techniques that were on par with the Void God protection. Zhuang Wan had a Void God protection, but she didn't use it. As for Yi Yinyu, she didn't have the Void God protection, but she had a way to escape. However, Zhao Feng and Elder Shui Yun had the advantage, but they were slowly getting closer through the Ghost Corpse cursed array. As time passed, the bodies of Elder Shui Yun and company became weaker and weaker. Elder Shui Yun's injuries had mostly healed, but because she had been harassed by Zhao Feng and had to heal Lu Tiany and company, she had only recovered 60 to 70% of her Yuan Qi. Lu Tiany was extremely weak and only had 30% of his battle power. Yi Yinyu and Zhuang Wan weren't much better. At this moment, the Ghost Corpse cursed array and the 9 deadly Een bone kept on eroding them. Finally, an hour later, Elder Shui Yun and company started to run for their lives. Chase! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader chased after them relentlessly. While chasing, Zhao Feng would control the nearby beast to stop Elder Shui Yun from escaping. For hours later, Zhao Feng had successfully forced Elder Shui Yun and company into despair. In front of them was a faint purple mist. This was the end of the Purple Saint ruins. There was nowhere to run. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader looked at each other and smiled. The two of them had the absolute advantage, but because they were worried about Elder Shui Yun and company's trump cards, they didn't forcefully attack and just kept on wasting their yuan qi. If we don't get reinforcements soon, we'll die here. Zhuang Wan'er was worried. Even though she had the protection of a faux god, this life-saving trump card was a consumable and could only be used once. Furthermore, the Void God protection only had the power to severely injure or kill sovereigns. Zhao Feng and company were extremely cautious and guarded the Ghost Corpse cursed array. It was extremely difficult to kill them in one blow. Zhao Feng, the three sects are trying to open a spatial tunnel again, but they've failed again. The purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded. Hearing this, Zhao Feng let out a breath and smiled faintly. Not good. An expert with spatial talent entered the Purple Saint ruins through a spatial crack. An urgent voice suddenly sounded. Shua. At the same time, a youth with silver eyes and a handsome face appeared at the center of the mysterious canyon. Shu, behind him, a tiny, transparent silver crack flashed and disappeared. Logically speaking, such a small crack shouldn't be able to allow a human expert to pass through, but this mysterious youth had broken the rules. Chapter 554. Mysterious Canyon. The silver-eyed handsome young man calmly flew out of the spatial crack. Success. He's indeed worthy of being an array Grandmaster. Apparently, Grandmaster Yin Kong's eye bloodline is connected to one of the 8 great god eyes, the space-time god eye. In the outside world, the people on a mountain couldn't help but sigh. This silver-eyed handsome youth was Grandmaster Yin Kong, who was managing the spatial splitting array. I used half of my bloodline power to stabilize the spatial crack, but the rest is more than enough to clean up the mess. Grandmaster Yin Kong murmured. At the same time, Shua, a transparent blue eye appeared in the sky above the mysterious canyon, right above Grandmaster Yin Kong's head. Interesting. Apart from the inheritances of the 8 great god eyes, there's also a special eye bloodline that exists in a form that overlaps with space itself. Grandmaster Yin Kong gazed at the eye of heaven with a hint of interest. Looking down from the sky, Zhao Feng's consciousness felt slightly uneasy. This was the first time he had faced an enemy like this, and he had some understanding of the eye of heaven. You're Zhao Feng? Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled and inspected the eye of heaven, but he didn't attack. Maybe he knew that attacking the eye of heaven would be a waste of effort, or maybe he had other intentions. Zhao Feng didn't answer him. Crack! The ground trembled violently, and the sound of mountains splitting apart could be heard. A dense ancient aura surged out. Then, a terrifying pulling force as heavy as Mount Tai came from the crack in the ground. Boom! A 30-meter-long stone vein giant flew up and punched at Grandmaster Yin Kong. Grandmaster Yin Kong's body sank down. Even a small origin core realm wouldn't be able to dodge a sneak attack from such a terrifying force. However, a weird scene appeared. Grandmaster Yin Kong's body overlapped in the air. If space was a painting, then half of Grandmaster Yin Kong's body seemed to be standing in another painting. As the silver patterns revolved around the stone vein giant, its punch missed. Shua! As if by magic, Grandmaster Yin Kong appeared behind the stone giant. There was almost no sign of the entire process. This is the spatial talent? Zhao Feng, who was controlling the stone giant from the sky, was stunned. Grandmaster Yin Kong's movement technique obviously used a certain amount of spatial talent. Even Zhao Feng's god spiritual, I could only see a part of it. Moreover, even if Zhao Feng could see through the principles, it would be very difficult for him to copy the secret movement technique, because Zhao Feng didn't have any spatial talent. It was this power that allowed Grandmaster Yin Kong to break the rules and enter the Purple Saint ruins. Void Wave Blade. Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes shone with a deep silver light as he slowly waved his hand. The next moment, a layer of soundless wave-shaped silver blades appeared in the air, spreading through a radius of several tens of feet and enveloping the stone vein giant. Creak! The faint silver, illusory blades enveloped the stone giant's enormous body, causing it to howl in pain. Puff! 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 The rock giant's ancient crystalline body shattered into pieces, and layers of crystalline rock fell from the sky. In just 1 or 2 breaths, hundreds of cracks appeared on the stone giant's body, and some of them even pierced through its entire body. What a weird attack! Zhao Feng was stunned. Looking at it, there seemed to be countless faint silver lines surrounding the stone giant's body. Although the stone giant's defense was immune to the attacks of normal sovereigns, it didn't have much resistance against Grandmaster Inkong's attack. Several breaths later, plop! The stone giant's powerful body turned into dozens of pieces that fell to the ground. Sii. The experts of the 3 sects all took in cold breaths. Grandmaster Inkong's strength is too terrifying. That stone giant is an ancient race, and its defense surpasses those at the Origin Core Realm. Even a sovereign lord at the Great Origin Core Realm wouldn't be able to kill it so easily. The sovereigns of the 3 sects all had their mouths open. Of course, Grandmaster Inkong's performance made the 3 Void God Realm Kings reveal joy. His power is too terrifying. He almost instantly killed the stone giant. That attack can ignore normal defenses. Zhao Feng's heart shook. Grandmaster Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, and company from the previous 2 groups were all stronger than normal sovereigns. However, compared to Grandmaster Inkong, the other 2 venerables paled in comparison. After slaying the rock giant, Grandmaster Inkong clapped his hands and left the mysterious canyon without any hesitation. Shua! Shua! Faint silver afterimages of Grandmaster Inkong appeared in the air. Every step he took covered at least a mile, as if he was taking a stroll. Purple destruction. Azure, eye-piercing slash. A faint purple aura appeared in the eye of heaven. Shua! A huge translucent blade, surrounded by wisps of purple destruction wind thunder power, slashed at Grandmaster Inkong like a bolt of lightning. Bo! A circle of silver light was left behind. Grandmaster Inkong's figure had already appeared 2 miles away. The entire process. Grandmaster Inkong didn't even look at the eye of heaven above him. He just casually dodged the attack. He dodged it? Zhao Feng's heart dropped. Although this situation was within his expectations. His eye bloodline wasn't able to truly lock onto Grandmaster Inkong. Of course, Zhao Feng didn't know that Grandmaster Inkong had spatial talent and was an array Grandmaster. No one at the Origin Core Realm could truly lock onto Grandmaster Inkong. Shua! Shua! Grandmaster Inkong slowly closed in on Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader. At the edge of the Purple Saint Ruins, the power of the Ghost Corpse, Cursed Array, Suppressed Elder, Shui Yun and company, and the Earth-grade weapon, the 9 Deadly Een Bone, seeped in. There seems to be reinforcements. Elder Shui Yun took out a special token and sent something. Shua! Shua! Grandmaster Inkong stood in the air with his hands behind his back as he slowly closed in. Skeletal Division leader, I'll leave everything here to you. The opponent sent in this time will probably surpass our limits. Zhao Feng left the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array to the Skeletal Division leader. We should be able to suppress them for a while. The Skeletal Division leader took over the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array and waved the black flag. At the same time, it merged the 9 Deadly Een Bone into its body. Although the 9 Deadly Een Bone's attack power wasn't as strong as when it left the body, it could still increase the power and defense of the bones. It's Grandmaster Inkong. Yi Yinyu was far away, but she could still see the silver-haired youth coming closer. Grandmaster Inkong has personally entered the Purple Saint Ruins. Looks like the situation is settled. A smile appeared on Elder Shui Yun's face. Everyone present heaved a sigh of relief. Grandmaster Inkong was, after all, one of the 4 array Grandmasters of the Tianlu Islands. He was a sovereign and had extremely rare spatial talent. According to what Elder Shui Yun knew, the battle power of any one of the 4 array Grandmasters surpassed normal sovereigns. One of them was even a Void God Realm King. Shua, Grandmaster Yin Kong, soon arrived at the battlefield where the two sides were fighting. At this moment, the Skeletal Division leader was just barely suppressing Elder Shui Yun and company. On the other hand, Zhao Feng, within the Ghost Corp's cursed array, his blue hair blew in the wind, and his god's spiritual eye contracted as he inspected Grandmaster Yin Kong. Grandmaster Yin Kong, hurry and save us, Zhuang Wanner exclaimed. The power of the Ghost Corp's cursed array was eating away at their blood essence and soul. Zhao Feng, Grandmaster Yin Kong inspected Zhao Feng with a smile. Zhao Feng had a weird expression. He felt like Grandmaster Yin Kong was very familiar with him. From the looks of it, Grandmaster Yin Kong was very amicable and had no intention of attacking Zhao Feng. What do you want? Zhao Feng was expressionless. Surrender. You have no chance in front of me. I'm only interested in your left eye. If you cooperate, you might be able to live. Grandmaster Yin Kong said in a calm and composed manner. Surrender? If this was said by a normal sovereign, Zhao Feng would laugh. But now, his expression was solemn, and he was ready for battle. This Grandmaster Yin Kong is very confident and direct. Zhao Feng's thoughts spun. Grandmaster Yin Kong's goal was already very direct. He wanted Zhao Feng's left eye. Impossible. Under the pressure, Zhao Feng's will remain calm and didn't waver. Now, the god's spiritual eye had already fused with his body. The god's spiritual eye was a part of his body. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. The result is the same. Grandmaster Yin Kong shook his head and smiled. He had a relaxed expression as his gaze landed on the Skeletal Division leader. I'll kill you first. Silver Spatial Blade. Grandmaster Yin Kong waved his hand, and a faint silver blade flashed across the void. Crack. The Skeletal Division leader didn't even have the chance to dodge before the blade cut through its bones. Not good. Zhao Feng had been on guard against Grandmaster Yin Kong, but he didn't expect him to suddenly attack the Skeletal Division leader. One could imagine. Grandmaster Yin Kong killed the Skeletal Division leader in order to destroy Zhao Feng's helpers and save Elder Shui Yun and company. Furthermore, Grandmaster Yin Kong's goal was to capture Zhao Feng alive. No, the Skeletal Division leader felt a sense of danger. Its bones were extremely tough, but they didn't have much of an effect against the Silver Blade. It circulated the true yuan within its body, and a layer of black flames appeared around its bones. However, even then, it was only able to block a quarter of the blade's power. In bone possession, the Skeletal Division leader roared as the 9 deadly Yin bone within its body started to hum and glow with a purple-black light. Finally, the Skeletal Division leader used all its life-saving techniques and used its Earth-grade weapon to protect itself, allowing it to survive. Crack! However, one of its bones was still cut off. It screamed. Hee! Grandmaster Yin Kong's playful laughter sounded. Silver Spatial Blade. A second silver blade came from behind and slashed toward the Skeletal Division leader's head. It's over. The Skeletal Division leader felt the danger of death and knew that it wouldn't be able to escape. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as a powerful eye bloodline aura surged from his left eye. The Skeletal Division leader couldn't die. Otherwise, the situation that Zhao Feng was facing would be unimaginable. Spatial movement. A transparent ripple of eye bloodline power appeared in the center and locked onto the silver spatial void blade. In that instant, space seemed to twist and overlap. Chapter 555. Just as the Skeletal Division leader was about to die, Zhao Feng used spatial movement. The second silver spatial blade was devoured by a transparent whirlpool right before it hit the Skeletal Division leader. Shua! The faint silver blade that was visible to the naked eye disappeared into thin air. Within the green sky water border, Elder Shui Yun and the other 3 widened their eyes. The attack that could have taken the Skeletal Division leader's life was blocked by Zhao Feng, just like that. The Skeletal Division leader let out a long breath with lingering fear. Luckily, Zhao Feng had saved it, or else it wouldn't have been able to escape even with its Earth-grade weapon. At the same time, it couldn't help but look deeply at Zhao Feng with a complex expression. At this moment, Zhao Feng couldn't lose him. After all, the skeletal division leader was fighting against Elder Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, Yi Yinyu, and Zhuang Wan by itself. If Zhao Feng dies, I won't have any hope at all. The skeletal division leader didn't dare to have any other thoughts. At the same time, the situation suddenly changed. Right as the skeletal division leader escaped death. Weird. He doesn't have any spatial power, but he can use spatial teleportation. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyebrows furrowed. Right at this moment, his heart skipped a beat. A sense of crisis surged, and Grandmaster Yin Kong even sensed a trace of a strange and ancient spatial aura. Spatial movement. A transparent ripple of eye bloodline power appeared in front of Grandmaster Yin Kong, with a vague outline of a whirlpool at its center. Shua, the silver void blade that had disappeared suddenly reappeared and slashed at Grandmaster Yin Kong with great force. Ark! Grandmaster Yin Kong screamed as blood splattered from his body and he fell from the sky. What's going on? The expressions of Elder Shui Yun, Lu Tianyi, and company changed dramatically. They didn't know what was going on. In the outside world, on the towering mountain peak, there was a huge commotion. How did the silver spatial blade reappear and land on Grandmaster Yin Kong? What kind of secret technique is this? Even some of the martial supremacies were shocked. The expressions of the three Void God Realm kings changed dramatically in disbelief. Everyone couldn't help but recall the previous process. First, the second silver spatial blade slashed toward the skeletal division leader and was about to kill it. But at this critical juncture, Zhao Feng activated void movement and took the silver void blade away. More accurately speaking, the silver spatial blade was absorbed into another dimension, which was the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Afterward, this was the beginning of the mutation. The silver void blade that had disappeared returned, catching Grandmaster Yin Kong off guard. At that time, Grandmaster Yin Kong had been pondering about the principle of Zhao Feng's void teleportation. He had never expected such an anomaly. Finally, Grandmaster Yin Kong paid a heavy price for underestimating his enemy. Thump! Grandmaster Yin Kong fell to the ground with a deep wound that extended from his chest to his leg. One of his legs was separated from Grandmaster Yin Kong's body. Ark! Grandmaster Yin Kong suppressed the pain as his eyes were filled with hatred and regret. If he hadn't underestimated Zhao Feng and had been on guard, he would have had a 50 to 60% chance of dodging Zhao Feng's teleportation with his bloodline talent and ability to sense space. Unfortunately, from the beginning to the end, he had the attitude of looking down on them, as if victory was already in his grasp. It's your honor to be the first to taste the power of my void teleportation. Zhao Feng laughed lightly. At first, he had only comprehended the ability of void assimilation. It was just object assimilation. But then, Zhao Feng found that he could teleport things out of the dimension of his left eye. Therefore, after dealing with the demonic Hellvine, the void movement secret technique took shape in his mind. Before Elder Shui Yun's group arrived, Zhao Feng had already completed void teleportation. Brat, I underestimated you. Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes were bright red, but he suppressed his anger and killing intent. First, to achieve his goal, he still needed to capture Zhao Feng alive. Secondly, Grandmaster Yin Kong was severely injured and had lost a leg. Shua, with his broken leg, Grandmaster Yin Kong stepped into the azure sky water boundary. Grandmaster Yin Kong, Elder Shui Yun immediately helped him and started to heal him. This Grandmaster Yin Kong is quite smart. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change. He was actually studying Grandmaster Yin Kong's ultimate technique, the Silver Void Blade. The Silver Void Blade was a spatial bloodline ability that had the ability to merge with the void to a certain extent. That was why normal defenses couldn't resist the Silver Void Blade, and it was hard to dodge it. Unfortunately, Zhao Feng didn't have any spatial bloodline power, so he couldn't copy it even if he knew the theory behind it. But it wasn't like Zhao Feng didn't gain anything. Both the silver void blade and his void movement had a certain spatial characteristic, especially the abruptness that came from the principles of space. This brat's eye bloodline is too weird. He can even move spatial attacks. Grandmaster Yin Kong sat on the ground in shock. At this moment in time, Elder Shui Yun focused on healing his injuries and reconnecting his broken leg. However, Zhao Feng wasn't going to let him succeed. Earth-grade inheritance weapon, Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng slowly reached out and gathered his bloodline power. The blue spear in his hand started to condense. As long as he took out the Ice Imperial Spear and used it with the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array, Zhao Feng was confident that he could destroy the Green Sky Water Border and stop Grandmaster Yin Kong from healing. Silver Spatial Restriction. Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes locked onto Zhao Feng with a surge of spatial power. Zhao Feng's figure suddenly froze. It was as if the space around him had locked him down. It was as if he was stuck in mud. Woo! The blue spear in his hand started to dissipate. What a profound spatial eye bloodline technique. It's able to restrict the space around Zhao Feng. The skeletal division leader couldn't help but exclaim, "Break!" Zhao Feng struggled, but he found that he couldn't even speak. "Brat, don't struggle. My silver space confinement fuses with that area of the void to form a powerful confinement. All living beings in that area will be confined and lose their freedom." Grandmaster Yin Kong laughed mockingly. With Elder Shui Yun's strength, she only needed 10 breaths to repair his broken leg. Although he wouldn't be able to recover in a short amount of time, at least he wouldn't need to fight with a broken leg. However, all living beings within this area will be imprisoned and lose their freedom. As soon as Grandmaster Yin Kong finished, meow meow, a silver gray cat the size of a palm appeared on Zhao Feng's shoulder and threw a few bronze coins into the air. What? The smile on Grandmaster Yin Kong's face instantly froze. He had just said that all beings within the area covered by the silver spatial restriction would lose their ability to move. However, the cat in front of him was alive and kicking. This was a slap to his face. Little thieving cat. Zhao Feng was slightly surprised. His body was restricted by the space around him, but the little thieving cat wasn't affected at all. However, thinking about it, the little thieving cat already had the ability to enter and exit the interspatial dimension. Shadow Kill and the Tao of Concealment. Grandmaster Yin Kong's pupils contracted as he inspected the little thieving cat. Shwa! The little thieving cat disappeared, leaving behind a dark silver line in the air. Whoosh! The gray line seemed to have pierced a tiny hole in the silver space shackle. Zhao Feng instantly felt the pressure decrease. Meow meow. The little thieving cat played with a mysterious dagger that was as dark as a shadow. As it moved, it created a shadow blade, and its aura was unfathomable. Wings of wind and lightning. A pair of purple-green wings of wind and lightning formed on Zhao Feng's back. They flapped at high speed and released a wisp of destructive aura. Pa! The wings of wind and lightning on Zhao Feng's back flapped, and he broke through the silver spatial restriction that Grandmaster Yin Kong was so proud of. Firstly, the little thieving cat managed to create a small hole in the silver spatial restriction. Secondly, Zhao Feng's wings of wind and lightning had the ability to travel through space, and it also contained the destructive power of the purple lightning. Break! With the support of the wings of wind and lightning, Zhao Feng appeared in the air above the green sky water border, and the image of the Ice Imperial Spear struck the rippling world. In order to prevent Grandmaster Yin Kong from interrupting, Zhao Feng didn't take out the Ice Imperial Spear itself. Even so, with his current cultivation base, bloodline power, and the power of the Ice Imperial Spear, he could threaten even sovereigns. See, the power of the Ice Imperial Spear caused the ripples of the green sky water border to freeze. Crack! The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned the power of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. Its other hand shot out a string of large spikes that glowed with a dark purple light. The frozen azure sky water boundary shattered into pieces and completely collapsed. Woo! The power of the Ghost Corp's cursed array engulfed Grandmaster In Kong, Elder Shui Yun, and company. The power of the curse also entered Grandmaster In Kong's body through his wounds. Grandmaster In Kong had already suffered heavy injuries. Coupled with the terrifying curse power and death aura, his forehead was covered in cold sweat, and he couldn't help but let out a muffled groan. Spatial wavy blade. Grandmaster In Kong's expression became grim as he slashed out with one hand. Wong, a wave of faint silver blades appeared in the air and locked onto Zhao Feng within a radius of several yards. That's the move. It killed the stone giant not long ago. Zhao Feng's heart dropped as he felt a sense of danger. This time, Grandmaster In Kong didn't use a single target spatial wavy blade. This junior's void movement can only target a single small object, and it's several times more difficult for him to teleport away with my area of effect attack. Grandmaster In Kong's eyes twinkled. The range of the spatial wavy blade was huge, and it could cover a radius of 10 yards. Even the stone giant, which was several times stronger than Zhao Feng's, had been killed by this move, let alone Zhao Feng himself. This move uses too much energy. Grandmaster In Kong felt his bloodline power quickly deplete. I can't teleport away. Facing this danger, Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and used the Ice Imperial Spear's intent of ice and water. Water Spirit, Divine Change. Zhao Feng's body was covered in a layer of dark blue light that twisted and overlapped with one another. Wong, the dark blue light merged with Zhao Feng's flesh and blood. Ripples appeared on Zhao Feng's body, as if it was a liquid. When the spatial void blades hit Zhao Feng, it was like they had hit a man made of liquid water, like rocks sinking into the ocean. This move, Elder Shui Yun exclaimed not far away. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.